You wake up in a dark, unfamiliar cabin with no memory of your existence before, completely alone. That is, until he speaks up. Now you're trapped here, forced to endlessly play his brutally difficult, bone-chilling card game. Today, I'll be taking you through the journey of not just the haunting main story of Inscryption, but collecting every hidden achievement, finding out the true secret behind this game, and scarier than all that, spending hours upon hours on the impossible roguelike version they added that less than 2% of players have completed. So sit back and relax as I 100% the terrifying indie game masterpiece, Inscryption. Upon starting up the game, we're met with a bit of a strange sight. You see, despite never before opening this game, the new game button is completely blocked out. Currently, we're only given the option to continue game, so I go ahead and load in on the continue game. As we started up, a mysterious pair of eyes fade in, welcoming us. Another challenger. It has been ages. Perhaps you've forgotten how to play this game. Allow me to remind you. A full deck is sprawled in front of us and we draw 4 cards. The eyes explain to us the way the game works is that you must sacrifice creatures to summon more powerful ones. So while this squirrel can be played for free, the stoat has 1 drop in the corner and requires 1 sacrifice. Oh no, my squirrel. We ring the bell, ending our turn. Here the eyes explain that the number in the bottom left is the stoat's attack, and in the bottom right is his health. Since there's currently nothing else on the board, the stoat can directly attack into our enemy, adding 1 tick to the scale. If we can manage to tip his scale all the way to 5, we'll win. On Spiral Eyes' turn, he plays a coyote who does 2 damage, but luckily our stoat blocks it, but his health is reduced to just 1 in the process. You may draw from your deck, or you may draw a squirrel. I draw a squirrel? How dull. Bro! Freaking jerk. My stoat kills his coyote, and then I sacrifice 2 squirrels to place down a wolf, allowing me to attack the Spiral Man directly and win the fight. You've won this match. Easy. They won't all be so easy. Bro, how do you know I was gonna say that? Along the single path, we're given the choice between 2 cards. The adder with a poisonous bite that always kills creatures, and the cat who can be sacrificed an infinite amount of times. I decide to go with the cat and move forward on the path when I'm suddenly ambushed in the forest. But in this battle, something a little different happens. What the heck? You didn't sacrifice me. How kind. Maybe you'll help me. Play along for now. Alright, man. Haunted cards notwithstanding, Swirly over there explains that we can now view his moves the turn before he does them. I sacrifice a squirrel for my cat and then use the cat's infinite sacrifice ability to summon my stoat, dealing 1 damage to his face. A wolf. Well, I know he said that I should sacrifice him, but kinda need the wolf, so... Wow, seriously. Fear not, the beast is sacrificed but not removed from your deck. Oh, okay. That's good. Its suffering was real. Oh my god, but you will see it again. Jesus Christ, way to make a man feel bad. With my heavy heart from the pain of sacrificing my haunted stoat, our wolf goes on to cleave through that tree stump and win me the fight. I progress on and I'm given the choice between 2 cards, a wolf cub and a sparrow. Kinda liked the wolf club. And if you're wondering why I pronounced it wolf club instead of wolf cub, I have no idea, but I will go on to say that for the next hour of gameplay. The scariest thing of all is how my YouTube channel is slowly turning me illiterate. We then stumble onto some strange stones. These allow us to take the power of 1 card and place it onto another. Like here, I'm able to take the infinite sacrifice power of the defenseless cat and put it onto... Pick me. I mean... He's asking nicely. The cat is sacrificed and removed from our deck, their spirit living on within the admittedly quite annoying stoat. With that, we head into another battle. But before we head in, the Spiral Man tells me that I must subscribe. Okay, I could not find a tactful way to write in this call to action while preserving a theme, but just like, please subscribe. I complete a lot of games. He's completely insane. You see that, right? No care for the rules. Pathetic, really. Only keeps me around to watch me suffer? Oh my god. Yes, while we are new challengers, clearly this man has been torturing the stoat long before now. And he's not the only one being tortured, as Mr. Spiral places down 2 flying creatures who fly over my stoat and attack my life points directly. Thankfully, their flying ability only affects their attack, and by using the stoat's infinite sacrifice, we can summon a wolf to clear the pesky birds and win the fight. I grab another wolf, and then we head into a fire encounter. Come across a small group of survivors. Faces shrunken from starvation, they huddled around a campfire. They looked upon your group of creatures and beckoned. Come, warm one of your creatures by the fire, one said. Warm it by the fire, that will enhance its power, said another. You notice one of the survivors wiping drool from their mouth. Oh my god. I ain't trust these guys at all. Not trusting the starving survivors, I decide to throw in the rude stoat, which ends up increasing his attack. Into the next fight, and this is a bad hand to draw. He's got a 4/6 coming. You must be joking. I place down my wolf club and take a brutal 5 damage straight to the face. My wolf club is now matured into a regular wolf, but with no more creatures to play, it's looking like I'm gonna die here. Holy crap, this is quite bad. Okay, I have an idea. Put a squirrel here. Don't play anything. Then he's got another one! You're joking. Luckily, I managed to pick up some items earlier on, mainly a free squirrel in a jar that I can use to block the onslaught of grizzlies being thrown at me. I even have to use the second one I'm given, which still isn't enough. I think we're cooked. Oh, wait, he said we could use this to tip the scales. Easy dub. All right, let's use this then. Oh my God. Dear Lord. Despite that horrifying event we just witnessed, our tooth was only enough to wield down a single point on the scale, meaning that we still end up going down here. Oh my God, he has so many grizzlies. Jesus Christ. I got destroyed. You've lost. I did. Using this as a learning opportunity may be the only way to mitigate my disappointment. Get up. Get up from the table. Fetch me the candlestick from atop the barrel beside the door. I can actually get up. Even though Mr. Spiral Man has trapped us here with his sassy stoat card, he apparently has no qualms with us getting up and rummaging through his cabin. His motives are beyond confusing to me, but I decide to explore anyway. I find a hammer and wand, this cuckoo clock that I can move the hands of, this safe, what's definitely a torture chamber, and even... Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I pick up the candlestick and Spiral Eyes blows one of the fires out. That was one of the 2 mistakes you can make here. If you make another, I must sacrifice you. Jesus Christ. Now, where were we? I don't really want to be sacrificed if it's at all an option. Okay, well, we used all our items, so we should probably get more of those. I add the, pun not intended, adder to our deck and restock our items before heading into the last spot on the map. The trees seemed to close in around you as a chill mist descended. In the distance, you could hear the clinking of metal on stone. An hobbled figure stood in your path. Hey! Oh, 'twas the prospector. Bro, what is going on? Yes, our disgustingly handed friend here has put on the prospector mask and started our first boss encounter. I place down the wolf club into his face and he summons a coyote and a pack mule into mine. Okay, I have a wolf now, but he is gonna kill my wolf with his coyote, which is not great. Okay, I feel as though I should just take a squirrel and end my turn, I guess. Okay, well that's bad. Okay, I guess I take another squirrel. Put a squirrel down, put a squirrel down, make a wolf, put the wolf opposite the coyote. Oh, so the extra damage is, oh, wow, how did you know to, oh my God, that's so annoying. Oh, wait, oh, so the pack mule's in front of the coyote now. Okay, well, that's good. He's not gonna die instantly. I attack my wolf into his mule, but before I can kill it, it moves again, and then he summons another coyote to kill my wolf. Watch this, top deck into stoat. Nice. He's doing the prospector again? Easy, boss. The mule's key. The mule is the key, he says. Okay, copy that. Well, I need to not die first. Using the infinite sacrifice and the items I got, I'm able to clear out the prospector side of the board, and taking the stoat's advice, I kill the mule. Upon its death, the pack underneath him fills our hands with a ton of cards. But no need for those, as my current board is able to dish out a proper wall up and kill the prospector. I hope you didn't think it would be that easy. Well... Feel a little stupid for laughing out. There's gold in them cards. What is he doing? What? Dude, bro! Bro! Dude, not the stoat! Oh, God. Okay, gold, I've struck gold. Well, that's quite bad. And worse than the fact that he just nuked my board, he also filled it with a bunch of gold nuggets, preventing me from playing my squirrels and summoning something to kill that bloodhound. Meaning I have to take a couple turns of face damage until he plays another creature to kill the second nugget. I can then use the skunk I got from the mule to block the adder, as his ability decreases the attack power of the opposing creature by 1. But just when things are starting to look up, this battle has taken a toll on you. Your supply of creatures was exhausted. Starvation? What the heck is starvation? That's not good. What's that? If a creature would attack a card bearing the sigil, it does not. Okay, well, I need to use my scissors right now then. The scissors kill the starvation. I replace the skunk with the flying creature, just barely winning me the fight. If that had went on for even a turn longer, I would have been cooked. You got nothing on me, prospector. Allow me to light your candles once more. I won't be killing you quite yet. Oh, we got our candle back. Okay, sick. Oh, dang, look, first achievement. This game's easy. You're the first in a while to overcome a boss. As a reward, you're granted an opportunity to select a rare card. Choose carefully. I'm given the choice between the Infinite Sacrifice Child 13, the free Gek, and the Aral. And as much as the chipper grin of the Gek intrigues me, I decide to go with the Child 13. With that chosen, we scurry off the map and into the next area. We tread cautiously into the wetlands. Here we're given a ton of choices from the get-go, so I decide to head towards the Sacrifice Stones. But before that, I'm forced to take a card, so I pick up the Mantis, who instead of attacking forwards, will attack twice, once to the left slot and once to the right. This effectively doubles your attack. I sacrifice this quirk onto my burly wolf. And we get to see this put to work in the very next fight, as I just tear through this with 6 fat damage hits to the face. Easy. How brutal of you. You dealt me more damage than you need to win. However, in my game, such feats are rewarded. To be precise, a tooth to keep for each extra damage dealt. I warm my killer wolf by the fire, increasing his health, but then lose my first life in this particularly rough fight with these bugs. I up my power by fusing another mantis onto my child 13. While he might seem like a useless 0-attack creature, whenever he uses infinite sacrifice ability, he turns into a flying 2/1. With that, I'm able to win the fight before old Spiral Eyes even has a chance to play. With one last refill of our items, we're on to the boss of the wetlands. Foul smell invaded your nostrils and caused your throat to seize. A hulking man sat by a brackish pond with his feet submerged in the... Jesus, gross. He pulled a hook from a pile of rotting fish and rose to his feet. I am the angler. Go fish. Okay, alright, man. And immediately, I can tell you, I do not like the angler. Something about his mask and the environment and the way he's talking about rotting fish, I don't know, he just unnerves me. Even more so than the angry killer card man who's keeping me in this cabin hostage. Regardless, his central mechanic involves this little fish hook. Every other turn, he hooks the most recently placed creature on your side over to his. You can actually use this to your advantage by putting down a squirrel and making it so his actual creatures get pushed back. With some good spacing, we're able to take down the angler and move on to phase 2. 1, 2, 3. Boom, you're dead. Alright, phase 2, let's see you. What the... What? Too fast, too soon. What do you mean? What the heck? Bro! Are you joking? Okay. Is there any way we can beat this? Spoiler alert, no! But before the wall of grizzly pounds us to death, we get one more conversation with our best friend and favorite sidekick, the stoat. There's a way out for both of us. It's somewhere in this foul cabin. Be silent or I'll tear you to shreds. Oh my god, okay. Those inspiring words from the stoat will never come to fruition as the grizzlies just go ahead and mollywop us. Think we're cooked. Huh, go fish. Bro, get them grippers away! You aren't dead yet. This isn't purgatory. Though you may think of it that way. Before you expire, I must ask you for a favor. I would like a memento. Your very own Bro, you're gonna kill me? It's quite plain at the moment, isn't it? We will work together to amend that. I want this to be a perfect memento of you. Here are some cards from your mediocre deck. We can put them to good use. Please pick a card to choose the cost from. Okay, 1. Choose the power and the health. These are not great powers or healths. I guess I'll take the wolf. Now choose a sigil. Oh, well, this is pretty good. A sigil of a bifurcated strike from the wolf. That's not a bad card at all. I never did ask your name. This is now but one final matter, the portrait. Complete. What do you mean? What do you mean it's completed? Oh, no, I'm not ready. Please, please, no. You do not need to smile. Oh my god. Is it over? Am I dead? Here we go again. Another challenger. Oh, I'm a different person this time? In our new life, Moldy Hands explains a new mechanic, bones. You receive a bone every time one of your creatures dies. Some creatures use these bones as a summoning resource instead of sacrifices. Like this opossum that can be summoned for 2 bones. I forgot your figurine. Get up and fetch it for me. It's beside the safe. Whatever you say, boss. Upon getting up, I decide to look around a bit and discover something strange on one of the pages of the book. The numbers 2, 7, 3 are splattered across the pages. I put this combo into the safe and... too easy, brother. Stink bug. Oh, and I got an achievement. Oh, hello. I wasn't sure if I would ever escape the iron crypt. Is the stoat still around? The stunted wolf? This madness must end. Put that away. The yapping stink bug wasn't the only thing inside the safe, as I'm also given a key. This key can then be used to open the cabinet over here, revealing a series of lock boxes. Each box requires you to solve a puzzle on the front, simulating a game board with a target to deal exactly 5 damage to the opponent. The first one opens pretty easily, and we discover the skink. Old Foul Hand says he'll let us add it to the current deck and add it to the table's card rotation. The next one is a little bit more complex, mostly involving the ability from the new skink. Basically, whenever he's attacked, he deflects damage by creating a 0-2 tail in the spot you attacked him, but he can only do it once. With that in mind, I make sure that the tail is not being attacked into and end up doing more damage. This unlocks the ants, which are also added to my deck in the card rotation. 2 more lock boxes to go now. The next one uses those ants, which have the unique quirk of dealing more individual damage the more of them you have. Using that, in combination with my knowledge of the skink, I randomly push the tiles around until the box opens. I have no idea what I'm looking at here. 5. I don't know what I did, but I did it. Curious. The caged wolf. Why didn't he say anything on that one? On to the last puzzle, and you already know at this point, just shuffle these guys around until the number hit 5. Easy! Without having met her, the wood carving is meaningless. In time, you'll understand its power. Hey look, caged wolf. That's what we just had. Wait, I probably shouldn't have put that out. Wait, how do I relight it? I take one last look at the room and book and all I see is a bunch of pages with ink splattered all over them. Not knowing what that means and not seeing anything else, I decide to sit back down at the table. You again. Indeed. Our friend freed me. Well, I basically told them how to do it. No, you didn't, dude. I did it all myself. What the hell? You got a plan? We have another friend here. You've got to be... I wouldn't call him a friend. Uh-oh. After making it through some fights, I realize a few things. Firstly, the caged wolf is useless. It's a 0-6 for 2 blood, and you can't even sacrifice it. Secondly, unlocking all those boxes has made my deck way too big. And if you know anything about deck-based roguelikes, having a big deck is the exact opposite of what you want. In fact, the smaller you can make your deck, the better. I decided here to throw this run straight into the trash, that way I can begin a new run fresh with the smaller starter deck. Before I manage to lose my second life, I accidentally pick up the wolf club, which reminds me of the small painting I saw before on the wall. This painting seems to denote a game board with the wolf club and a squirrel on my side of the field. So I make it my goal to accomplish that before my death. It takes me a while to set up this board state though, as his side needs to be completely clear. So along the way, we get more little bits of lore from our friendly neighborhood stinkbug. Why can't I remember his name? I believe I lost some of my memory in the flash. What flash? Okay, now we just gotta keep drawing for the wolf cub. That caged wolf. He hid that for a reason. The card seems useless, but I think there's more to it. Huh? Okay. It's kind of a relief having a haunted talking card that isn't an unbearable jerk like the Stoat. After waiting for Green Hands to surrender, I take the time to clear his board and draw my wolf club. Okay, sacrifice this, put that there, and then put the squirrel right there. Something happened. Something definitely happened. Okay. What happened now? What the freak? There's a clover. Okay. What do I do with this plant? Wait, I just picked the plant out of the photo, I just realized. I didn't even have time to process that. What do I do with this? Do I put it in there? No. What do I do with this potted plant? Oh, it goes right there. Okay. Is it the only place it can go? Maybe it'll, like, grow? Sure, I'll just place it right here. Maybe it'll, like, grow throughout, like... our attempts. Alright, time to die. But while you'd think I'd be done now, before I die, I take the Stinkbud's worries to heart and try and sacrifice the caged wolf. I wait until phase 2 and let his bloodhound whittle it down when... Free the caged wolf from its cage! Free the wolf statue from its cage. Okay, that seems good. After winning the fight, I explore the room again and see the caged wolf has now been released from his shackles. By placing him next to the squirrel statue, boom! Bro, I got a knife! You finally pried my special dagger from the paws of that squirrel, though you may wish that you hadn't. Dude, he likes that we're, like, finding all his stuff. Bro is, like, having a ball. Finally ready to end this run, I decide to test out the knife before I die. Let us use the knife. Stab the guy. Bro! Dude! Okay, sure. Luckily, Mr. Spiral Eyes has got a replacement eye for us to pop in. And with that, we can finally throw this run into the trash. Stay there, no need to move. Where did I put that camera of mine? I'm gonna give him the camera. Ha! Gotcha! Pathetic. Did you really think I'd leave film in there? I kinda did. Do you have an idea what that camera's capable of? Give me that. God, I'm sorry. Okay, we have a memento to create. Okay, well. After creating a very importantly named death card, it was time to be reborn, vowing to surpass the evil angler on this attempt. But this time around, the cards in our starter deck look a little different. With the Stoat gaining a cubic face and the Stinkbug, well, really just not looking like a Stinkbug at all, like Meat Hands you didn't even try here. Wait, the plant's right back here again. Oh, I can put it wherever I want. I guess that wasn't the right location. Oh, I can bring it to the table. You've plucked that one from the oil painting. You must not like the cards I dealt you. Fine. This now unlocks the ability to re-roll any cards we're given for 3 new ones. One of the strongest abilities we could have possibly unlocked. We start off this run by grabbing the Alpha, a 4-bone creature that buffs the attack of the 2 creatures next to him by 1. For the next stop, though, we progress to a previously unseen spot on the map. An ancient man emerged from behind an oak tree. Choose. Stinky, move right, or can't hurt. Probably Stinky. The Stinky sigil will now be marked upon all your squirrel creatures. Oh, okay, sick. With all of our squirrels now having the power of Stinky, we can place it in front of this porcupine to completely negate its damage. After beating a few more fights, we can add the Wolf Club to our deck and use the Alpha to complete the Win a Battle with Damage from Squirrels achievement. Raven Egg? And subscribe. I'll take subscribe. And we immediately buff up his health. To end off the act, we grab the corpse maggot, whose ability allows it to be played when another creature dies in combat. I sacrifice that onto subscribe and we head into the boss. But here the green min takes away our additional life and gives us the smoke card in its place. Which makes sense, wouldn't really be fair if you got 2 lives in a boss fight. Wait a second! By using the alpha, wolf, and subscribe, we're easily able to take out the prospector. For my reward, I go with these strange larvae and it's on to the wetlands. Our first new event here is the completely new cave. Here, we're given the choice between 3 tests, and if we pass, we're given an enhanced card. I easily pass and grab myself an infinite sacrifice mold. I sacrifice the alpha's buffing ability onto the wolf club, and after a quick fight, it's onto a new map event, the trapper. Here, we can spend all the extra damage teeth we've acquired on pelts. I'm given 1 rabbit pelt for free, but spend the rest of my teeth on 2 of the elusive gold pelts. For now, they don't do anything, but hopefully we'll be able to use them later. After that, we enter another item refresh where... Powerful item. Turn this and it'll skip my next turn. Oh no, you can't use that. Well, I definitely want this. Definitely want that then. What the freak is that? What is this? I'm serious, you cannot use that. There's no possible use for it. I'll place it on that shelf over there for now. My advice, avoid it. Well, we all know that I'm not gonna do that. This pain is unbearable. Oh my god. Was he not originally goo? Even after all these years, what do you want? I have very little to live for these days. Oh my god. I watched that dagger do its work. For a moment I felt that my misery had company. Oh, but it had its own noble purpose. Surely a step towards freeing the master. Who's your master? Wait, what do you say? I saw that knife do its work or some crap? Trying to not focus on the screaming goo pile, I encounter the wood carver once again. And this time I'm able to give my squirrels the power of undying. Meaning, yes, every time you sacrifice a squirrel, it goes back to your hand, letting you immediately play it again. Meaning you effectively have the power to summon anything in your hand, as you can just continually reuse your squirrels without needing to draw more. I cannot overemphasize how broken this is. This is like Smeargle with Dark Void. Brawl, Meta Knight, Among Us as an empath levels of game break. Not only can I summon whatever I want from my hand, but I can also use the squirrels as an infinite shield so that I never take damage. This squirrel shield allows me to stall long enough to wait for the 2 necessary turns for strange larvae to turn into Mothman, a flying creature with a whopping 7 attacks. But the real brokenness is what starts next. I encounter a new encounter and meet the trader. Here I can trade my pelts for my choice of cards, and for my gold pelts I get to choose between rare cards. Here I pick up 2 very important creatures, the Ouroboros and the Amalgam. We'll get into why they're so broken in a second, but for now it's on to the boss of the wetlands, the Angler. I'm once again able to stall with my squirrels until the Mothman hits his face. And this time for his phase 2, we are not too fast nor too soon, as instead of sending out the grizzly, he just places a bait bucket in front of our existing creatures. Luckily, Mothman can fly right over that and smack the creepy fishman right in the face. I know it's the same guy with a mask, but come on, he seriously scares me so much, I hate him. For my reward, I take a second strange larvae, and we enter into the 3rd area for the first time. Frigid gust of wind billowed, unwelcomed into your lungs. The beauty of the falling snow failed to distract you from the chill in your bones. You had ascended to the snow line. I pick myself up the black goat, who has this perk of his sacrifice counting for 3 instead of 1. I fuse this onto my Ouroboros, a decision that will pay off in spades later. Now you might be wondering, why would the Ouroboros be a rare card? I mean, it's a 1/1 and it costs a whopping 2 sacrifices, with its only perk being that it comes back to your hand after dying. What gives? Well, the Ouroboros actually has a quirk that makes it one of the best cards in the entire game. You see, every time the Ouroboros dies and comes back to your hand, its stats are increased by 1. So after the first death, he becomes a 2/2, then a 3/3, and so on forever. And this permeates throughout your entire run, so he'll keep whatever stats he had climbed to at the end of your last battle. For our last encounter of the act, we come across the Bone Stones, allowing us to sacrifice a creature to the Bone Lord. I kinda wanna do the Stoat. Take that, Stoat. That's what you get for insulting all my plays, bro. See ya! Oh, and the Bone Lord! Bro, so worth it. See ya! For the Stoat sacrifice, we're given an extra bone to start every battle. That thorn on our side dealt with, we move on to the boss of this area. A man stood before you, a man you recognized immediately. It was the trapper? How could you? You reached out to examine his wares, but he stopped you. Sorry, but today you will supply the pets. How could you, you bastard? I feel so betrayed. Yes, our very own friend the Trapper has betrayed us, and I have never felt more hurt. He's got these robotic-looking frogs, and upon killing them, a leaping trap is placed in their spot. When you attack into the trap, it snaps closed and kills the creature that attacked it. But in its place, a pelt is put into our hand. Luckily, we have our unkillable creatures to help take these out, but while summoning them, I accidentally stumble onto something insane. So we can kill both of his things. Yeah. So we're big chilling. We can go bup. Bup. We can go bup bup. things are about to get crazy. Hold on. So then we can go bup. Then I can go bup. Then I can go... Wait, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I can do this all day, literally. So in case you're not following what's happening here, let me break it down. Firstly, you need to know that the amalgam has the quirk of being every single tribe at once, including squirrels, meaning that he is given the unkillable sigil as well. From there, I can use the amalgam and a squirrel in my hand to summon the Ouroboros. Both cards come back to my hand, and I can sacrifice the Ouroboros to play the amalgam, bringing the Ouroboros back to my hand a level stronger. This is a true infinite. Since all the cards always come back to my hand, I can just infinitely buff the Ouroboros to my heart's content. I decided to take 5 minutes repeating this over and over again until... Alright, I think we have hit a good spot with the Ouroboros. It's currently sitting at a 35-35. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. The raw power of the Ouroboros obviously shreds right through the Trapper, sending him to his next phase. But instead of the Trapper, Meat Hands hits us with the reveal of a lifetime. He turns his mask upside down, and it's none other than the Trader. How did I not realize that? That's so obvious now. For the Trader section, she allows us to use all the wolf pelts we accumulated by attacking into the traps to trade for a selection of creatures, with the ones we don't choose staying back and fighting for her. This is very little issue because, well, this feels good. Jesus Christ. How many teeth is it gonna have to put there? Oh, it must have maxed out because that was not 40. We grab Child 13 as our reward and head into the final map of Inscryption. This one being extremely short and the bright yellow colors being swapped out for a dark, eerie purple. And after a quick sacrifice stone, it was time to move to this game's final challenge. Surely this cabin marked the end of your travels. Oh, okay. Well, that was easy. No, dude, absolutely not. I think I'm good. Nope, there's no going back. Okay. Holy crap, what the heck is that? Oh my god, bro, he's still massive. Steps away from the strange cabin, you're presented with an opportunity. I don't just offer my boons to any traveler. If you're able to pass the trials, you'll be rewarded mightily. Trial of Skin. The 3 drawn cards must include a pelt card. Doubt it. Trial of the Ring. If you have the ring, you pass automatically. I don't have the ring. Trial of the... oh, crap. Wait, look. It says 11. After unfortunately failing Monster Hand's first trial, we were given a second chance, with this one asking us to try and grab a rare card. Thankfully, I managed to draw one of my strange larvae, allowing me to pass the trial. I will grant you one of my most powerful boons. Cards that dramatically alter the game, you don't even need to draw them. Boon of Magpie's Eye. When you draw from your deck, you may choose any card in your deck to draw. I want that. Only half listening to the other options, I choose the Magpie's Eye and continue heading forward. Jesus Christ! Christ alive! You managed to get a boon. This may be a fair competition. Okay. Why is the man so large? Oh. Bro is not looking good. You took your time out there. Yeah, bro, I had to get the Ouroboros up. And I'm itching for another game. Are you ready to play? Do I have a choice? No, I guess I have to sit down. Perhaps one more. Bro's gonna have a third? That doesn't seem right. And with his god-awful face finally revealed to us, our final battle with Ogre Palms begins. Put out a ton of creatures, but unfortunately he starts with a 6 health mole man that blocks all of our attacks. As our turn ends, I also see him slip on the Prospector mask and raise his pickaxe. Fortunately for him though, that pickaxe is never gonna come down, as I can use my Magpie's Eye to draw my Ouroboros and just bust open the leafy green's face. But the true challenge was forthcoming. Shadowy figures appeared before you. In their eyes glimmered a recognition of kinship, but colored by guilt. They were betraying you. It's me! It's me! No! Oh my god! It's like real life. I'm always against myself. Unfortunate for Shawnee though, is he doesn't even get the chance to attack, as the raw power of the Ouroboros sends him to his final phase. 1 life left. This damned moon. It's dramatic, yes, but it provides no value to my board. I wonder... Bro! He's gonna turn the moon into a card! He stole the moon! There's wizards on the... Now that is value, you know? You were not joking. Alright, let's get some scribe out there. It only has 40 health? Bro, you're about to get Ouroboros, bro. See ya! You really destroyed the moon. Well, you're the one who stole it! Suppose all that's left is to finish me off. Go on. Well, now I don't want to. Now I feel bad. Now I feel kind of bad. Bro, this is like such male manipulator energy. You've been torturing me for hours, and now that I can finally have a chance to get back at you, you're like, make me feel bad about it. Yay! Defeat Leshy. Take that, Leshy.
Oh my, I think I just beat him. Oh.
What the heck? Dude, what is going on here? I thought I won. What the heck is this?
Hey there, card gamers. I'm the Lucky Carter, and this is another pack opening video. Today, I am opening Catch Monsters packs and digging for that epic, shiny Transcend Dog!
I feel like I'm looking into a mirror here. Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but this was actually foreshadowed right at the beginning of the game.
Okay, time to figure out what's on this thing.
The rest of this first video is a pretty standard pack opening video, but things start getting interesting in the second one.
Today, I'm opening a few super rare old packs I snagged at a garage sale. I've got 4 packs of Inscryption.
That's the game we're playing!
Believe the deal I got.
Wojak face.
Now, not all of you will even remember this game. I'm barely old enough to have seen these going around in my childhood. For whatever reason, they only did 1 set of these cards and then stopped printing them. Really cool art on these.
Dude, who's gonna watch this video? You're not showing them any of them to the camera. Lucky Carter continues opening up the Inscryption packs until finding that one of them has been opened and resealed.
There's a set of coordinates on this card. Looks like they were drawn on with a pen. 49 degrees north, 123 degrees west. I'd have to check, but I think that's pretty nearby.
What kind of freak knows his GPS coordinates? No way. Yes, our dear Lucky Carter has gone out into the middle of the woods alone to the coordinates listed on the cards. After finding the exact spot, he starts digging and finds a lone floppy disk just labeled Inscryption. He obviously doesn't have a floppy disk player, so he orders one online. Also, I can't believe I'm explaining this, but for my younger audience members, floppy disk is like a really old CD, and a CD is like a Blu-ray but worse. Once the machine arrives, the Lucky Carter pops in the Inscryption disk and it loads up to the game we've been playing. No new game button and all. So I know that was kind of a lot of explaining, so here's a really brief recap. We are not playing inside of the Green Man's world, but rather playing as the Lucky Carter, an aspiring trading card YouTuber. He stumbles onto some cards from the physical game of Inscryption, which apparently was a really obscure franchise. Inside of the pack, he discovers some coordinates, he goes to them, finds a floppy disk, and has been trying to beat Scary Hands ever since. Okay, got it. With that, we stop browsing the footage, which places us right where we left off after defeating the Green Hand Man. We know from the achievement is named Leshy. I do not celebrate often, and I seldom give gifts. But you, challenger, you are worthy. Please do not be polite again. What the frick? It's like a pile of meat. Is there something wrong? Very well. Yeah, I think I'm good with the pile of meat, actually. Alright, where are we going? Stand where? Wait, he let us... Dude, absolutely not. What are you doing? Do not be foolish. There's no film in there. I will need that. Dude, but we won! You challenge are a champion. I wish to commemorate your victory. But we won! Please inscribe your name. Shawnee do. Do not despair. You are a winner. I do despair. Why'd you kill me, bro? That's messed up, man. That's not right.
How is this game not over yet?
Dude, that's what I'm saying, Lucky Carter. So yes, despite our triumphant victory, we're right back to where we started. And the Stoat and Stinkbug have become even more malformed looking. Unsure what to do next, I look around Leshy's cabin. The first thing I find is the 3rd candle has been lit, and upon putting it out, Leshy says he will give us an upgraded version of the smoke from now on. That's cool and all, but not like, you know, freedom from this cabin. I remember the 11 o'clock I saw etched into the table during Leshy's boons, and decide to put that into the cuckoo clock. Upon putting it in properly, the top opens up, giving us the ring that Leshy was talking about in his boons earlier. Which only further emphasizes that despite trapping us here and killing everyone who plays this game, he wants us to explore and do well, even offering us massive rewards for solving the little puzzles he's set up. I cannot get a read on you, Mr. Leafy Greens. Other than that ring though, I can't seem to find anything else in the lobby, so I decide to just sit back down at the table and play through another round. I start this run off by making a bifurcated strike wolf that hits for a whopping 6 damage. This lets me speed through the first couple battles until I encounter the trapper, who is selling his pelts for significantly cheaper now. Because of this, I can pick up 2 shiny gold pelts. I also enter an item space with my 3 item slots already filled, so Leshy instead gives me the Pack Rat card, which summons an item whenever it's played, an intensely powerful skill. Before the act is over, I grab a black goat, which I put onto the auto summon sigil and head onto the fight with the prospector.
I'm so sick of this boss.
Me too, Lucky Carter. But before we pop the mule, my item storage is completely full, and I want to play the pack rat, so I decide to just use the knife to make space. It's slightly annoying finishing out the fight with only half vision, but I do manage to kill him. I'm then given the choice between 3 terrible rare cards, but I decide to go with the Urali, the least bad one. Finally, after all that, Leshy offers me a new eye, and one of them looks a little different than the rest. I feel like I'm gonna take the magic, fill your empty socket with something magical. Find salvation in Cuckoo Clock. And putting in the magic eye has revealed tons of secret text around the cabin. I look through the book and find nothing, so I decide to heed the magic chest's advice and go to the Cuckoo Clock. There I find that there are now little markings for each of the clock hands. Upon twisting all of the hands into their matching spot, boom! Stunted wolf. Take the film roll before he sees it. Now, what are you doing over there? Turn to face me. Oh, we got the film roll! Nothing, sir. Okay, now we gotta win. Keep sealed. Could it be? You have the master's eye! Does this mean the master can see me? Magnificus! Can you... Who the hell is Magnificus? Can you free me? So now, equipped with the master's eye and the film roll from Leshy's camera, if we're able to get to the end again, we should be able to take a picture of him and finally free ourselves from this twisted game. I ought to thank you. Oh my god, look at the stoat! How's it been? It's been quite bad. I'm trapped in the body of a stoat, in the paper of a card. I see that. And I have, of course, set up a way to reset once more. Go on, our player friend here. They already hold the key. So you found the stunted wolf. I've seen this play out enough times to know that a plan is in motion. Make haste. Oh boy. All that's great, but we do still actually have to win. I bump into the wood carver and power all my squirrels with gecko tails and grab even more golden pelts from the trader. At the end of the wetlands, we encounter the final new event type, the mycologist. The mycologist is a guy, or two guys I guess, who if you bring them duplicates of the same card, they will sew them together. So I give them both of my 2/2 pack rats, and he hands me back a single 4/4 pack rat, but it still costs the same. This is a great way to literally double the power of a creature and get rid of a card, so pathing to the mycologist can always be a huge help. With that, we're on to my sworn nemesis, the angler. Well, phase 1 is pretty easily. I actually struggle a ton in phase 2. He puts bait buckets in front of all my creatures, and with no way to sacrifice them, they're forced to attack into them, summoning 2 4-attack sharks who wipe my board and are on track to kill me the following turn. Thankfully, a lucky top deck into my double strike wolf manages to win me the game before they can even attack. And with that, I'm offered my rare card, the Holy Mantis God, a perfect incarnation of terror.
Yeah, always been Mantis God.
You're so right, Lucky Carter. As I'm sure you've guessed, the Mantis God has a sigil that allows him to attack left, right, and center every attack, which is insanely powerful. I throw this onto my stitched up pack rat, giving it an effective attack of 12, which is really good because this deck was pretty underwhelming until now. But the strong pack rat is not enough to save us, as we've just got awful cards offered to us this entire run. In fact, I even managed to die to a random encounter on the path. I mean, we still have 1 candle left, but things are looking pretty bad. That is, until we get to finally trade in our 3 golden pelts at the trader. Pelts. I will take more Ouroboros, and it's a 1 run. And not only do we have the Ouroboros now, but it has saved all of our buffs from the last run, giving us the nuclear 40/40 with no infinite needed. This allows me to speed through the rest of this act and onto the trapper once again. Him and the trader fall to the raw power of the Ouroboros, letting us move on to the final act. We've shrunken down, but this time we have the ring giving us the magpie's eye once again. The second trial, I do the rare card trial, I pass, and am now able to draw 2 cards per turn.
Well, looks like I'll have to beat him again.
True that, Lucky Carter. But with our boons, that should be no problem, and we can immediately draw into our big pack rat, clearing out the mole man and Leshy's first 2 phases. This ought to work again. That's not gonna work at all for you, bro. Time to bring out the big guns. Actually, you know what? I don't even need it. I'm gonna win without using the Ouroboros, because that's how baller I am. And so we take the moon down and beat Leshy once again. Why does he always make us hand him the camera? See ya, bro. Who gave you that? See ya! See ya! Oh! Holy crap, that scared me. Hold this L, man. It's just that simple. And what is that? That is what we've been looking for since the start of our journey, the new game button. Upon grabbing it, we can go back to the main menu and finally start a new game. In the beginning, the world did not know cards? Okay. Oh my god, that hand. Wait, this is the globe from inside his house. That is, until the day the scribes arrived. Each had their own method of inscription to create cards. Gamora used her quill to inscribe the epitaphs of the dead. Leshy used his wildlife camera to capture beasts. PO3 used a particle scanner to copy the CPU of robots. And Magnificus used his brush to paint his wizard pupils. With the cards created, the scribes had solidified their power, until one day a challenger arrived to replace one of the scribes. Was that me? Why I look like that? Choose a starting deck to mark your ambition. Ambition is to replace Magnificus and become Scribe of the Magics. Sure. The cards are added to your collection. Bro, that's what I'm thinking. Now, I don't know what I was expecting when I clicked new game, but it was certainly not like a totally new game. As to why I chose to replace Magnificus, I truly have no idea. I just went on a whim. Though some of you may remember that the jarred slime said the magic eye we wore back in Leshy's cabin belonged to Magnificus. I attempt to head to the left, but the bridge is currently broken, and they say it won't be fixed until I beat the other two scribes. I head down and to the right to the graveyard-looking area. Until quite... That's the goddamn stink bug! That's the stink bug, brother. Until quite recently, I was disgraced, though I was returned to my former glory with the help of some unlikely... That was me! Grimoire tells us that if we want to face her, we have to first complete the tombstones of her lovely ghouls. Around the room, we can find different epitaphs that denote names and causes of death that we need to match to the right tombstones. I go up to the first ghoul, and he challenges me to a battle. It's here that Magnificus enters the scene and explains how his deck works. And if you thought this was going to be a fun little variation on all the mechanics we learned in Leshy's cabin, oh boy, do you have another thing coming. Because this deck plays completely differently. I'm gonna try and spread out all the explanation for you guys because it's pretty confusing, but the main mechanic you need to know for Magnificus's magic deck is that it revolves around moxes, also called gems. Moxes are for all intensive purposes mana, and all of Magnificus's cards require a mox to be on the field for them to be played. So playing Magnificus's creatures don't require any sort of blood sacrifice as long as you have the corresponding mox or moxes that the card asks for. The enemies in Grimoire's lair are much easier to understand as they just use the bone mechanic we learned in the cabin. What's this? Wait, you can kill your own things? Why would I want to do that? But besides small changes like that, this version of Inscryption is very similar to the one we played before, with 4 lanes, a bell to end your turn, and a 10-point scale system. The largest change I immediately notice is the cards are much weaker in this. Not a single one of my creatures have more than one of attack. This leads to this battle, and most of the ones in this game mode going much slower than normal. However, after a bit of wailing on the skeleton, I managed to tip the scales in my favor and win. For winning, the bony lad gives me a booster pack with 5 cards inside that are added to my inventory. The skeleton also admits that their name is Kaycee and that they are from the tombstone on the left. And remember this because it might be the single most important bit of information we have learned in this entire game. Not the tombstone thing, the Kaycee thing. As we learned that this skeleton is actually named after one of the developers of Inscryption. So just remember her as the sick, twisted mind behind the freaking angler. Inside the well behind Kaycee, we find another defibrillator piece. But over to the left, we find something even greater. You wish to trade? Oh my god, it's the pelt. Yes, the trader has cards for us to buy, but unfortunately we're flat broke right now, so we'll have to come back later. I head over to the stairs where this skeleton challenges us to a fight. It's here that I make the realization that Magnificus's deck is awful. Like seriously, this is my second battle and I nearly lost because all my cards are just so bad. But eventually I power through, he gives us a booster pack and tells us his name. We defeat the last skeleton, find some more epitaph pieces before discovering this mirror in the back room. What the heck? Is this just how you change your appearance? Who is this guy? I want to be that guy. I want to be this guy, absolutely. Who is he? This is unsightly. Oh wait, is he supposed to be a skeleton? Is this Saiyan's Undertale? With that, we've gathered all the pieces of the epitaph. I matched them to the right names based off of the clues in their dialogue, and the fact that Kaycee has a giant block of ice sticking out of her head. This brings down the tombstones and allows us to challenge Grimoire. Let's see how you fare. My deck kind of stinks. But despite my less than ideal deck, I managed to use my moxes and meat shields while my puny little mages slowly whittle her down. We won! You're half- Oh, what? I gotta do it again? Dude! I do miss them. I'll give them back, of course, as corpses! Oh, that seems good. Spoiler alert, it's not good. In fact, that board wipe is so not good that I end up losing the fight. Luckily, this version of Inscryption is not a roguelike, and dying doesn't cost me anything, but even upon rematch, I still can't manage to defeat her. When she wins, she says that I maybe need to go find more card packs to power up my deck more. So I decide to head upwards and go over to this little dock and find a salmon card inside of a chest. Despite getting some decently good animal cards from Leshy's deck, I am dead set on only using cards from Magnificus to power through here. Is that smart? Probably not, but that's my plan. But so far, the booster packs have mostly just had cards from their corresponding area, so I'll need to wait until we run into Magnificus's lair. I head up and enter a much more familiar looking area. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No fish, no pass. I don't want to get anywhere near you, bro. I hate you. By entering the cabin, I see a face that I'm sure everyone at home has been missing. Leshy! Stop shaking. Behold me, I am Leshy, the scribe of the beasts. We share a desire for you to challenge me, but first... No, this is not my legendary camera, not the one I used to create the beast cards. This one is a mere replica. You may use it to create photos of the beasts in these woods. My subordinates, the prospector, the angler, and the trapper. What? They each require a photo before they will consider battling you. Return to me when they have all been defeated. If we go to the top right of the cabin, there's even his sliding puzzle on the cabinet. After solving it, we receive a card pack, finally giving us another magic card. By putting the same code we put into the safe from before, we can open it for a pile of meat. Awesome. By putting that meat into the dog bowl outside, we can attract the prospector's bloodhound and take a picture of it. Which in the other version of Inscryption, he always started his second phase by placing down a bloodhound. Like, the fact that the attention to details are that small just goes to show you how finely crafted this game is. Irregardless, we can show this picture to the prospector and he'll challenge us to a fight. After defeating him, he gives us a beast booster pack and clears a path to the pond. Here, we can take a photo of this bait bucket and place it on the fishing line. This picture apparently looks so realistic that the shark emerges from the water for it, allowing us to take a picture and show the angler. We defeat that decrepit creep and he clears the way to his rabbit enclosure. I tried taking a photo for a while, but it doesn't work until I realized the horrifying truth. I pushed the bear trap into the rabbit's direction and it snaps closed, turning him into a pelt. Oh no. What? We just took a photo of the pelt. That's so cruel. What the freak? I go down to the basement of Leshy's cabin and show him the picture of the trapper. You have brought a pelt, I am pleased. Did another turn of the skinning knife. It is time to set another trap. What the freak? Oh, that's why he did the mask thing. That's what the point of the mask is. At the end of our fight, I managed to clear his board and discover something about the battle system. Oh, excess damage. Gave me some foils. Now that I've defeated the prospector, the angler, and the trapper, in the same order as the other Inscryption I might add, we can now challenge Leshy himself. The main mechanic of Leshy's fight is that he uses our minions to create his very own death card, taking the cost, power, and sigils from different cards, but killing them in the process. Then, after we've done enough damage, he gives us the death cards in return. Unfortunately for me, we're given a 0-attack creature that dies if there are not moxes on the board. Not the best, but thankfully I did add one new card to my deck that saves the day. This one's from the technology deck, and I'll explain how that works later. But all you need to know is it's a creature that I can play that has 2 attack and bifurcated strike, allowing me to cleave through the fight while using the death cards as meat shields. And with that, I've beaten Leshy on my very first attempt. For defeating him, his stone from the beginning lights up, and we get 2 beast card packs. Stop. What is that? What? What? Oh, it's some other guy. I thought he was talking to me. I had to see your face after you lost. You're just so bad. It's no wonder we're back here again. We would have been back even sooner if the disc wasn't lost. Take a long look at this face, because you'll never see it again. That's the stoat! I'm done being your pet, you stinking beast. Oh my god. What the freak? I pushed it too far that last time. That was weird as heck, dang. So they do all remember. I think the most interesting wording there was back here again. Unsure what that means, the bridge is fixed now and I head to the giant brown tower. No reads, greetings. If you are reading this is because you wish to challenge me, Magnificent, to a card ballad. But in order to earn the privilege, you must first defeat my 3 graduate students. Here we can look around and finally get some magic booster packs, giving us 3 guaranteed magic cards in every single pack. And I am glad because our starter deck was really starting to hit its limits. On the table, I pick up a monocle, and just like Magnificus's eyes did back in the other Inscryption, it reveals to us some hidden goop all around the tower. If we look back at the note we just read, we can find 3 hidden sigils on each page. By plugging them into the mox in the middle of the room, we encounter a familiar friend. Easy dub. What the heck? It's Gooman! Do you see? Magnificus turned me into goo for my final exam. I just need to defeat one more challenger, then I will earn my rightful place. My rightful place in the deck of the master as one of his prized cards. Nothing will stop me. After defeating the disgusting goo pile, he gives us a card pack and opens the door to the upstairs. I peer around the room and I'm being attacked by a dummy! Which, funnily enough, is the same thing I say when reading through the comments on my Slime Rancher video. The dummy, though, is just that and doesn't actually have any way of attacking you. And upon defeating it, nothing happens and you're able to challenge it again. This is clearly part of some puzzle that I've yet to tackle, but we can use it for our own purposes as well. By going into the options menu, I can actually swap out all of the cards in my deck with any of the ones I've collected throughout my journey. I fill it to the brim with high attack monsters to try and farm as many foils as possible. However, admittedly, this isn't a very efficient setup, and I only really get like 5 foils per battle, with each fight taking a while to set up. We will eventually need to farm a ton of foils, as there's an achievement for unlocking every card in this version of Inscryption, but I decide to hold off until I have a better strategy. In the dummy fight though, if we kill our defenseless minions, it reveals some hidden sigils. By placing those into the mox, we can find another one of Magnificus's students, this one having me turned into a severed head by Magnificus. They still hold out hope that this sacrifice will allow her to become a card in his deck. Is it just me, or are things like not so fun on this side of the bridge? Like, Leshy's at least nice to his 3 friends. And Grimoire gives the dead a second life and lets them chill in her graveyard. This guy is torturing students who look up to him with the reward of being a lifeless card in his deck. It really makes you question if what Leshy was doing was even all that bad. Like, at least when he ran the show, everyone got to be fun little critters. This dude is freaking sewing body parts together and then putting the mangled corpses into cards for eternal suffering. Moral questions aside, we defeat the severed head and move further up through the tower. Here there are 3 notes on the ground, which we have to match with 3 sigils around the room, throw them into the mocks, and boom, another student. This one was giving the test of sensory deprivation, so he's been years just craving stimulation, which is the same reason my ex-wife left me. We defeat him and advance on to the final floor of Magnificus's tower, where I find a note on the desk. Now reads, Dearest Grimoire, I believe PO3's plot may go far past the extent of a common power grab. Indeed, the great transcendence will have catastrophic and unpredictable results. This note is incomplete and ends abruptly. I urge you to consider. With that extremely ominous note in the back of our minds, I challenge Magnificus. The gimmick of this fight is that he paints random sigils onto each of your cards. And since like 99% of sigils are good, this ends up buffing most of your deck. Combined with the fact that all the booster packs have greatly increased the power of my overall deck, I'm able to easily bang through his first phase. In his second phase, I actually have no idea what he does because he doesn't wipe my board, meaning I can just win before he has the chance to do anything. And with that, we light up our second stone. Very well, we have battled, and now I may speak, you see. My eye, it aches because it remembers it was excised by none other than Leshy, the scribe of beasts. And a beast he is, arrogant, single-minded, obsessed with gaining power. But he is far from the worst scribe to become a hegemon. You see, the ejection of my eyeballs far from the worst thing that can happen around here. You must be especially aware of... What? Aware of what? Aware of what, man? Oh my god, the camera died again. But we don't even have time to think about Magnificus dying, as we've got some more Lucky Carter videos to dig through. The first video here is him sending out an email to the creators of Inscryption.
My name is Luke Carter, and I'm a fan of your collectible card games. It was a great surprise to learn that there is a digital version of Inscryption. I think maybe one of my fans pranked me and buried a copy in the woods near my house. Upon further research, however, I have not been able to find any record of this game.
What
Is
the
this
heck?
some kind of elaborate hoax?
The video ends with Luke sending his very desperate email. Clearly, they don't respond to him though, as the next video is him putting out a plea to his audience.
Did anyone ever play an Inscryption video game? Or hear about it? I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I don't want to get in any trouble here. I think I've got the only known copy of the digital version of Inscryption.
Dude, that's
I've
you're gonna
been,
get in trouble for that.
Please tell me someone has a copy of this game. I have been looking online for days and I cannot find a word about it. Oh yeah, what
is the what? By putting this code into a binary translator, we can learn that he was talking about the Karnaffel code, which outside of being a classic German card game has no meaning to me. But clearly it does to others, as we can see in Luke's very next video.
Hi!
Hi there. I'm floppy disk for a game called Inscryption. I was told you came by a copy of it somehow. Sound familiar?
No.
No?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Dude, you literally emailed them about that and you put a video on your public YouTube channel.
Really? Because, apparently you emailed us about it.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Like, how did you think this was gonna go?
Listen, how'd you know where I live, exactly?
My boss gave me your address.
And how did you get past the side gate? It's locked.
Okay, Luke.
This woman crazy!
If you remember anything at all, feel free to give me a call. Okay?
Will do.
Why did you do that?
Take
You're
care.
crazy, bro. Luke on something else, man. I don't understand. Why would you lie? With horrible lies like that, Luke is not exactly breaking the stereotype that all YouTubers are stupid. Secondly, by putting this binary from when the lady introduced herself, we can learn that her name is actually Amanda. In the final video of this set, we see Luke try and record another video for his channel. But midway through, he breaks down saying that he can't do this and turns the camera off. And for now, that's all we really have from Luke as he rapidly descends into madness. Back into Inscryption, I know we didn't really get to talk about it, but it seems obvious based off his letter to Grimoire that the scribe Magnificus was afraid of and possibly killed him was PO3, the former Stoat turned into Robot who we saw making fun of Leshy earlier. Which conveniently enough, it's about time to head to his domain now. Challenge me, let's see your deck. Weak cards, total lack of synergy. This pile really doesn't stand a chance against me. Look, I'm trying to finish my conduit control list here, but the bots they're sending down the line are trash. Get those workers to send me something good. Tell them to throw themselves on the line if necessary. And please, have a decent deck by the time you're done. My god. What a jerk. But before doing that, I find a card pack containing a card called the Energy Conduit, which means we can now do a game-breaking exploit on the dummy. Basically, the mechanic that PO3 introduces is called energy. At the beginning of a battle, you start with 1 energy, and every subsequent turn, your total energy source goes up. This can be used to summon various robotic creatures. However, PO3's cards also introduce a second mechanic called conduits. I'm not going to really get into this, but all you got to know is that conduits create a live wire, and if you connect them, they can have some effects. Specifically for this trick, we're using the energy conduit, which when connected gives you infinite energy. The final piece to this puzzle is the stim mage. By paying 3 energy, you can buff his stats by 1 point. Since the energy conduit is giving us bottomless energy, we can infinitely buff him to our heart's content. If you're wondering how I discovered such an obscure exploit, well, of course, it's the same way that anyone learns anything these days, by stealing it from a Reddit post. I sit there for 10 straight minutes, clicking on the buff button over 600 times. I'm not one to complain about gamer issues, but by the end of this gauntlet, my hand was killing me. Boom! Attack for over 666 damage. I got 600 foils for that. Oh my god, this is going to take forever. But cooler than the amount of stamps we got is the wording of this achievement, calling this the original Inscryption, confirming that this is the original version of the game before Leshy somehow took over. After obtaining all 600 foils, I go around to the trapper shops in each of the 4 kingdoms and buy as many packs as I possibly can. There's a book in Magnificus's tower that allows me to check the full collection on each of the 4 decks so I know which ones I need to buy more of. While trying to go over and buy more cards from Gamora, I accidentally move forward and realize I can head inside this mushroom. What the heck is going on here? You have found us here. This is good. This is good. We require duplicates. Did you see the diagram 2 of that? Thank you. Upon giving the mycologists 2 of the asked for card, they give us the new upgraded version that goes under a new name. This can be done for cards in each of the 4 kingdoms, expanding our collection by 4. For completing the final one, though, we're given an additional reward. What? Found a strange flickering key. Its use cannot be yet understood. For the next card, we need to head up to Magnificus's room and continue going into his bathroom. Inside of his sink is a single tentacle that we need to poke. There is then another tentacle over by the dock, and if you poke this one as well, you're given an exclusive card called the Great Kraken. This gives us the achievement for collecting every card in the original Inscryption. Nice! While I'm here, though, I decide to talk to the bridge mechanic. Leshy, that guy's insane. Wants to use challengers like you as his playthings. To make it more perverse, he thinks you'll actually enjoy it. PO3, that bot is planning something alright. It's got the dredger working overtime, huh? Oh, Gamora wants to bring it all down, I swear, but more as a mercy, I think. She's probably right. There's some pretty nasty data on this disc. What, you want to know about Magnificus? Mysterious guy. We all have our theories, of course. Some say he actually wants to know. It's too terrible to say. What? Even though we've gotten the achievement for collecting every card in the game, we've still got one specialty one to unlock. You see, in our collection, we have several broken obol cards, with there being a right half and a left half. If we place these next to each other on their corresponding sides, they'll fuse together into a new item called the Ancient Obol. If we take the Ancient Obol to the basement of Gamora's crypt, this coffin will move, revealing a set of stairs. Heading down gives us the achievement for making an offering to the Bone Lord, but that's far from all. What the
is this?
What is this? Oh my god, that's nasty. You approached the Bone Lord. You approached me. Do you hear it? The old data? How it twists and corrupts, how it even invents images unknowable. The old data does not take and does not give, but I do. Please accept my meager offerings. Whoa, another key? What is this, freaking stop and swap? And a card atop the pedestal. The Bone Lord's horn. Go from here. We will meet again. Okie dokie. That was weird. With that horrifying encounter completed and not a single clue as to what the old data is, it's time for us to go back to PO3's realm and defeat him. From all the packs I opened, I can reform my deck of mountains of rare cards and head back into the tech city. The robot guards in this area are so devoted to PO3 that upon defeating them, they sacrifice themselves by throwing their own bodies onto the production line so that they can be crushed into better robots. Which, dang, I thought things were messed up with Magnificus. PO3 makes him look like a saint. With all the robots defeated, it's time to head back to PO3. He's impressed we were able to defeat the other robots and challenges us to a fight. The gimmick of this battle is that there are several conveyor belts that move the cards around the board. This can be countered pretty easily by just placing your best cards all the way on the right. And with that, we're able to defeat the final scribe. Nice luck you had. I guess playing a perfect game is no match for good RNG. Bro, you stink. Oh yeah, I forgot about Gamora. After giving her a proper wallop with our upgraded cards, we head back to the starting area. It is time, challenger. Choose the scribe that you will replace. Dude, Oh, crap. Even though I did originally set out to replace Magnificus, well, for one, I'm pretty sure he already died, and two, all of the evidence in this act has led me to believe there is one person we shouldn't be trusting. Magnificus's letter to Gamora, the bridge repair woman's experience, his incredibly suspicious speech to Leshy. I choose to replace the scribe of technology, PO3. Oh. Suckers. Oh, you actually picked me. Great. Let's get this over with. I've got some big plays to make. What? You're supposed to battle the scribe that you picked, but like a powered-up version for the finale. This is going to be different. Okay. I'm just gonna completely destroy your entire civilization. What the freak is that? I'll just leave this here. I've got to give it to that dredger. Not as useless as I thought. 97 health. Okay, I'm still... Was that a mistake? Uh-oh. What? Did I fall into your trap? Corrupted chunk, corrupted chunk, corrupted chunks. Holy crap, why is he spinning? Why is there so many corrupted chunks? What? I want to go home. Oh, no, dude. Turn off the goddamn computer, Luke Carter. I don't like this. I don't like it, Luke. Luke. Allow PO3 to gain control of Inscryption. Bro, this dude seems so evil. You done gawking? We can start? Good. This is Botopia, once great technological paradise. It's ruled over by 4, Uberbots, that's right. And you've got to get out of here and beat them. Why? To perform the great transcendence, of course. Doesn't matter what that means. You want it, okay? Whoa! Get up? No. Whoa, bro. Okay, yeah, I was right to not trust this man. Leshy was like chilling me, like getting up and like fooling around, and like I was doing some goofing. Yeah, the distrust for PO3 was definitely warranted, as we are now truly trapped, forced to play his version of Inscryption. It starts off with an encounter with a rogue bot on the road, where we learn the first major change of PO3's game. You're not used to seeing 5 lanes, are you? Wow, really breaking the mold here, P. A whole extra lane? Wow. PO3's game works using the energy mechanic we learned about in the original Inscryption, with all of our cards obviously being robot themed and requiring energy to be played. In addition, in place of Leshy's squirrel deck, we now have an empty vessel deck to draw from. This is essentially a 2-cost meat shield that we can use while building up our energy. Using those, we're able to buy time until our heavy hitters come out. Is there bonus damage in this? Are you chill like Leshy? Oh look, I got some cash. Cha-ching! Whoa, okay, yeah. You know what? This isn't so bad. Maybe this is better than Leshy. Maybe he just really wants us to play. The best defense? Other bots. Here, we're given an event that lets us add a card to our deck. I decided to go with the 0-2 gift bot. Why would I pick what's essentially a more expensive empty vessel? I don't know. We also receive a battery that will restore all of our energy once, but recharges whenever we reach our waypoint, whatever that is. After another short fight, I get to choose another card, of which I pick the sniper bot. On the next screen, we encounter an ability enhancement station. Here, we can place one of our cards inside and give them our choice of ability. I decided to put Unkillable on the energy bot, as his innate ability gives you a permanent extra energy, so I figured making him unkillable could lead to early mana ramping. In the next encounter, we get to show off a new ability with the sniper bot, who can choose to attack wherever he wants on the opposing side of the board. This lets me clear out PO3's side and win the fight. You made it to the first waypoint. Cool. Your items are recharged. Bots that you've destroyed in the area will stay that way. If and when you do perish, you'll be brought back here. This must be a shop. Glorious commerce. Your Robobucks are accepted here. I spend all the money I've gotten so far on adding another card to my deck, of which I choose a 3rd sniper bot. From there, I explore around a bit and close the bear trap on this rabbit, giving me a pelt. Currently, these have no use, but I'm sure they'll be important later. I try going over to the left, but the bridge repair woman stops me until I beat a boss. Yeah, if you haven't realized already, PO3's map is a nearly exact replica of the original Inscryption map, which I guess kind of makes sense, seeing as he's a robot, not a natural-born artist like Leshy. After beating a couple more rogue bots and adding a few more cards to the deck, I reach the waypoint between Leshy and Gamora's house. Then suddenly, the screen goes black. Power is dead on this old thing. I'll let you get up if you go get a new battery. With that, our handcuffs are released and we're given freedom to explore PO3's room. The first thing I notice is that Leshy's clock is apparently glitched into the room. By putting in 11 o'clock like we did in Leshy's cabin, the first part of what seems to be a 3-part code pops out. Then I see this stupid square-looking guy, and everyone's favorite, more sliding puzzles. After some random sliding, I managed to open the first one, giving me an item that wipes the entire board on both sides. From the second one, it's just that easy. Lonely Wizbot. What is this? Oh my god, it's that guy. Something other than darkness? Many thanks. Do with me what you will. Anything but that, anything but infinite darkness. Oh my god, poor guy. After heading into the room on the right, we're tasked with solving 2 captchas, which permits us access to the next area. Over there's a chest that contains— Oh my god, you have to be kidding me! Not the angler! He followed me here and he's a card now, so I can never escape him? My worst nightmare aside, I'm able to find the extra battery PO3 was looking for, bring it over to him, and power back on the board. I learned from my mistakes last time and decided to head north and start with Leshy this time. I get to upgrade one of my cards and go with the Wizbot because his stat line is surprisingly good compared to the other cards at his cost. I give him the Battery Bearer's Sigil to help me ramp up even faster. Further in, I also gain an ability exclusive to beast cards in Leshy's neck of the woods. One of your cards is about to gain an alter ego? Anita Max win? As a beast. While looking at the options, I accidentally give my battery bot the ability to change into an adder, which could have gone better. After winning so many fights in this area, I managed to accumulate a bounty star on my head. So in my next fight, a bounty hunter seeks me out and hops onto the board with just an absurd stat line. In order to get all my money back, I need to make it back to where I died, which isn't really an issue as the enemies here are a complete breeze. Without the bounty hunter here now, I can advance on through easily. While moving ahead, I scroll my mouse and find a hidden area where I can grab myself another hollow pelt and make my way to Leshy's cabin. But first, I want to use the money I picked up for a few more card upgrades. And then have to walk all the way back to the top right of the map as I forgot you can use waypoints to teleport. All is not lost though, as on my way over, I discover something amazing. Look, secret passageway. We use the key we obtained from the mycologist in the original Inscryption and head inside. What is this? This is not one of Bottopia's Uberbots. Where did the repugnant mushrooms come from? What is this strange feeling? What the freak is going on? We have gained control of the robot. Complete control! We must now experiment. This is extremely scary. 2 into 1! 2 into 1! Oh my god. Yes, the mycologists have the ability to slowly push their creatures together and fuse them into one. On top of the fact that they play 2 creatures every turn, this makes this battle nearly impossible. I die again and again until finally I figure out a pretty solid strategy. After he fuses his leap bot, I place an empty vessel to block the damage. Then once he sends his other 2 creatures down the line, I use Miss Bomb's remote to completely wipe the board. Fortunately though, I can only use Gift Bot to block half the damage being put out, putting me just 1 away from death. Barely surviving, my Gift Bot has gained the power from Leshy's cabin to turn into a 3/2 for a turn, letting me deal enough damage to survive. He continues fusing his creature larger and larger, and now that I've lasted to the point of having more energy, I managed to weasel my way to beating his first phase. 2 into 1! 2 into 1! What is that gonna do? Oh, that was nice of you. Fused my cards. Oh my god, he made a 9/8! Oh my god, I got a 12/12 on the board! Dear lord, bro! Now, this card is absolutely broken. Not only did it just combine their stats, it also combined all of their sigils, meaning that this is a 12/12 that can snipe anywhere on the board. And the coolest part is what happens after you win the fight. Oh my god. You let me keep the Mycobot! Oh, but it costs 5 mana. Oh. Well, that's kind of annoying. But still, that's a 12/12 lag. In comparison to pretty much everything else in this mode, the Mycobot is a monster. For reference, the most attack I've seen on a 6-cost card is 4. While my deck has previously been struggling, the Mycobot makes everything 40 times easier, as my major goal now just becomes to thin out my deck as much as possible, and also grab energy generating cards to play Mycobot faster. But the perfect time to test him out comes as we return to Leshy's cabin for our first Uberbot encounter. Or I guess it's not Leshy. In this version, he's called Lensbot. Lensbot's fight gimmick revolves around you taking pictures with his camera. You see, every turn you have the choice on whether you'd like to take a picture or not. Then you can revert the board state to whatever the picture shows. All you really need to know is I take pictures when I have good cards so that I can win the battle. While we're fighting though, we do get a little sad piece of lore. Good boss, remind me of Leshy Fish. Good boss. Aww. He misses his Leshy. That's so sweet. I easily clear through both of Lensbot's phases, giving me my first Uberbot win. As a reward, I'm able to upgrade my empty vessel side deck, giving them all sharp quills to deal damage back. Memory card is full. Uh-oh, we're getting more lore. The first clip is actually dated before all the previous videos, and it's from when Luke initially picked up Inscryption at the garage sale. The following one is him calling the owner of the garage sale to ask about the pack of Inscryption cards. The woman reveals that the cards were actually not hers, but her daughter's.
Would it be possible for me to speak with her? She passed, isn't she?
She's dead?
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Oh, it was a while ago.
Oh.
That's still
Oh, it was a while ago?
terrible.
Get over it then. Throughout the rest of the video, the woman on the phone tells us that her daughter was named Kaycee Hobbs. I told you to remember that! I told you it was going to be important! Kaycee's mother even reaffirmed she worked at GameFuna, the creators of Inscryption. Then, Luke delivers perhaps the most awkward line in this entire game.
Alright, have a good dinner.
Cook a dinner. The next video reveals that Kaycee actually died in an accidental fire at the Game Funa facility. The video after that is Luke filming himself at night, believing there to be someone inside of his house.
My phone's in the other room, so if I die before I can call 911, use this tape as evidence.
Bro was sleeping with his camera, but not his phone. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed tonight. Gotta keep the good old camera next to me and not my, phone. The final video in this block, well, it kind of speaks for itself. Okay, so he's dead. Guess you're not so lucky anymore. Who's recording then? Now back in the game, I decide to look around for a bit. I can now spin the camera around, and with the right timing, I can get the flash to go off, revealing the door to Leshy's old cabin, as well as the second piece in the code forming a skull. I continue looking around. Boom, okay. Skull. Then we knew, Jesus. That scared the crap out of me. Holy crap and crap. Holy crap and crap. Oh my god. Oh my god, that scared me so hard. After definitely losing a couple years off my life, I sit back down at the table and head down south to Grimora's crypt. I make sure to end every encounter I can down there with Mycobot just to farm more money. Once we finally reach the main crypt, we're introduced to a new way of affecting our cards called overclocking. By overclocking a card, you give it an extra attack, but if it dies, it's removed from your deck forever. This is a great way to remove some of the extra cards from my deck, so I just place it onto some useless ones I picked up. In the rightmost corridor, we can use the key we got from the Bone Lord in Act 2 to open up a door. Where's this gonna bring me? Oh crap. Oh my god, the skull guy, he's so scary. I have mediated deeply on the old data. I will impart my insights, but you mustn't record them. Well, what the heck? Huh?
What the man?
What? That is everything I know. Oh, so we didn't get to see it because Luke Carter couldn't record it. He turned off his camera. So whatever's on the old data is so traumatizing that even after someone snuck into his own house, this was still more scarring to Luke Carter. What is this game? What does that even mean? No wonder Amanda's hopping over gates to get this floppy. I pick up another pelt and then we can head into our fight with this area's boss. Ah, greetings. If you had not gleaned it from the title of my zip file, I am the archivist. I eagerly await the opportunity to explore your hard drive. Please don't. Files and directories are my specialty, you see. The battle's pretty typical until we kill one of our first librarians. Oh, I should have inquired sooner. You will need to grant me access to your hard drive. Will you please acquiesce? I assure you no harm will come of it. I feel like I should say no. But sure. Here comes your actual files. I hope no one's watching. Did he know I was recording? The archivist then asked us to drop a properly sized file onto the scale. Unsure if that means large or small, I decided to go with something mid-sized, a short video file from my upcoming Cookie Clicker 100% video. Because the file is relatively small, it ends up doing 2 damage to her. Now knowing that I want to use a large file, I decided to use the voiceover recording for my either upcoming or just premiered Garden Warfare 2 video. This massive 4GB file weighs down the scales heavy and transitions the archivist to her next phase. Please select a file. This one, however, is very special. Choose a file that is dearest to your heart, and one that shows age. Oh, okay, so this one is gonna do damage based off of age? I looked through my computer's drive before realizing that because I methodically cleaned my computer, I didn't really have any old files. I started looking through a folder from the days when I streamed on Twitch, and baby photos I can't use for whatever reason. Can I not use that? Oh, it's a photo of me as a child! Oh, I probably shouldn't have used that. Now, let us place a file in a card. You didn't choose a file that was too dear, did you? For if this card dies, I'll delete the file from your disk. Please do not tempt me up. No! It's a cute little photo of me. Not image9845.jpg. File this mature is easily a 3.3. Fortunately, my 2021 aged file was big enough to finish the job and subsequently kill the archivist. This gives us our second glowing stone. Once again, we get to buff our empty vessels, and this time we give them battery powered, so they generate energy every time we play them. This is huge and an incredibly strong buff to our deck. With the previous 2 scribes defeated, the bridge has now been reopened and we can progress towards Magnificus's lair. On the way though, I encounter a strange green folder. Found this old picture of when Elle and I first got into Aquaromans. Gilly Gladiator. Sick. Elle got a Julius Caesar. Upon interacting with the file again, PO3 says that he didn't think the archivist would dig up this file. And me, Shawnee Do, don't know anybody named Elle, so I can only assume this file is from Luke Carter's computer, and PO3 has begun searching his personal files. Which is scary, but surely giving an evil computer access to the most personal details of our lives won't end up being a mistake, right? We finally make it over to Magnificus's tower when PO3 tells us to grab something that he forgot for us. This has unlocked a totally new area for us to explore, and our first discovery is perhaps the greatest. Gooman! Goo guy! Greetings! The pain bearable. The picture of the pipe surrounding me feels nice. That and the knowledge that the master is near. Where is the master? Oh yes, the master is near. I feel his presence. That robot will rule the day. After that, we answer some more capture questions, with this one correlating to emotions. You successfully performed the Great Transcendence. What is the Great Transcendence? We grab the piece that PO3 wanted, as he explains that he is now introducing Moxus into play. Oh boy, as if I didn't get enough of those in the original Inscryption. Now, all of our empty vessels can be changed to different gem types, and if we find these little gem things, we can enchant a card to be passively buffed depending on the gem color. All this to say, none of this is really important, as I only really used one gem color this entire playthrough. The blue gem makes any gem buff card cost 1 cheaper, and since I already buffed my battery bot, I can now play this infinitely, meaning as long as I draw that card, I can have max energy the next turn. I gem buff my Wizbot as well, giving me even more infinite energy outs. Exploring around more, I find another green file folder. With this one, Luke reminiscing about winning a card game tournament with Elle and heavily implying that Elle is his sister. And as heartwarming as that information is, I would be remiss to not mention that this entry is dated on date 6/9. With my 14 to 22 male audience entertained, we finally make our way over to the tower. The guy who used to live here was a major drag. Well, you knew him. You wanted to replace him. Guy had a plan for every eventuality. That is, except the Great Transcendence. What is this transcendence you speak of, brother? By going into this room to the right, we can spend $25 at this thing and reveal a paint splotch saying 4 o'clock. If we put this into Leshy's cuckoo clock... Oh my god! The Aurora Bot! He stayed at 4040! Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh, Orobot. Yeah, I'll take that money, thank you very much. Alright, money's not gonna be an issue anymore. With the power of Orobot, we easily bang through this tower and head on to our third Uberbot. Oh, right. This Uberbot, well, you see... Yeah, you stole Magnificus. There isn't one. There's no boss for this level. That's your job. What? Please, paint me a face. After giving the Uberbot a face, we're given the choice of a couple runs to enact for this fight. There's a ton of options, but I end up going with giving one of his cards invincibility armor at the start of each turn. I survive until turn 5, and then give him a face full of Orobot. For his second phase, he asks us to create another rule, but our metal lizard doesn't even let that trigger, and we win the fight. For my reward, I give my empty vessels the final upgrade of Mighty Leap. Before I head into the final area of the game, I decide to take one last stroll through the map and find some more folders from Luke's computer. Done sorting and scanning all these photos. This is the last one. Last photo of us together before we lost her. Goodbye, sis. No. This is like 3 years later. My face when I got to 100 subscribers on my channel. Started making those videos to distract from grief. Still can't believe people like to watch them. Big plans for the Lucky Carter this year. Yes, PO3 has put all these journal entries of Luke's dead sister around the map purely as a means to torture him. For all the horrible things he's done, this is just beyond cruel, so it's time we stop him. Inside PO3's factory, we're given the chance to recycle a card to create a new one from his 3D printer. If you remember, this looks exactly like the card we saw wandering around earlier, so I decided to make a replica of it. After printing it, if we go to the printer, we can discover the final sigil we need for that code. If we walk over to the back room, there's this Mox pedestal we can put the code into. Boom. Easy. Where am I? I'm in Ghouland? Oh my god. Aw, it's the Gooman. What are you doing here? Don't look at that! Aw. Poor Gooman. He loves Magnificus. Aww. I painted it for the master to express my feelings, my hopes. My hopes that perhaps one day he might treasure me as I treasure him. Oh, you hate? No, it's great. That's why you won't look at it again. No, I'll keep looking at it. It was really good. You looked at it again. You reconsidered it, didn't you? You like it? Oh, joy. I'll actually do it. I'll show it to the master. Thank you, friend. Okay. Having encouraged Goober, we head back to the map and head into PO3's factory. Inside, I get another print station, so I decide to recycle a card I had put a lot of buffs onto, so I get tons more resources to work with. I make him cost nothing, be unkillable, and give him battery, meaning that we can repeatedly play him to have infinite energy every turn. I name him Dr. The...
This card is OP.
It actually is. Wait, no, so Luke Carter is still here. With that, we progress into the final Uberbot, Golly. That's my name. You can call me Golly. I'm so excited. We're about to explore it. The web. I sure hope I can get a good connection. Here we go. Nifty, we're in. Isn't the web wonderful? Mole. So that's what a mole really looks like. Wait, huh? Is he actually getting access to the web? Nifty, I think I'm getting a signal. What are these? Oh my god, what the freak? It's in my Discord. Yeah, the computer has gained access to my Discord now and is using my own friends list against me. Let's see if I can get you something else from the web. Mummy Lord. Holy crow, that's what a mummy looks like. After a few more turns of clobbering through enemies, I managed to push Golly into her second phase. You got a card from the web. Don't you think you should return the favor? Make a card for someone else. Okay, it's gonna cost a lot. It's gonna be a 0-0. Not smart! I'm about to send it off to the web. I hope whoever gets... I don't think they will. I'm not sure they will. The web can be lonely. I couldn't find anyone. I suppose you'll have to take the card. Oh, no. I don't want the card. Hope you weren't trying to troll some... Oh, God. Alright, not smart. You gotta pull through on this one. And thanks to the incredible power of Not Smart, I'm able to pull through and win the fight. For beating the last Uberbot, PO3 tells us the Great Transcendence is at hand and that we should return to the start. On the way over, though... Hold on a minute, I got a notification. What? What the heck's going on? That's it, the dredging room security camera is busted. It's nothing. Go check it out right now. I am not a robot. What's going on? What the heck? Yo! The Great Transcendence? No, we don't think so. On your left, Luke Carter. We're able to temporarily put our differences aside for the greater good. The bot must be stopped, and you, Challenger, will provide the perfect distraction. Yes, perhaps. Perhaps when PO3 believes it has won. So jubilant will that be, Android. It will disregard the surveillance cameras. Yes, Challenger, you must continue to play. And when the moment is right, we will strike. I will be the one to strike. That was awesome. I saw you go down the lift. But look, not fixed. What's wrong with you? I entertain you for hours with brilliant card play, and you can't even get my factory in shape. It's fine. It can stay broken. None of this will matter after the Great Transcendence. But before we experience the Great Transcendence, having collected 5 of the rabbit pelts from around Botopia, we can bring them into the neighboring room where we see an old friend. Oh, the trader! Yo, what's up, man? Beautiful, exquisite hollow pet. We will now provide you with knowledge, our only remaining good. We do not know everything, but from old data we have gleaned certain secrets. The woodcarver proceeds to read us out 5 cards with obscure pieces of lore confirming what most of you already knew. Kaycee Hobbs created Inscryption, and while others helped, she was the only one to discover the purpose of the old data. The old data holds the Carnoffel code, which was created by, and I hope I'm reading this right, the devil himself, which is why he lives inside this Inscryption floppy disk, which would explain why all of the scribes have come to life and how they're able to create their own versions of Inscryption. After returning in all of the hollow pelts, we get an achievement, and with that done, it's time to start PO3's Great Transcendence. You made it. Nice. Great job. You prepared the Great Transcendence for me without even knowing what it was. But you understand it now, right? Right, Luke? I mean, you finished making the game. You gave me access to your hard drive. You took screenshots for the store page. And you connected me to the internet to upload it all. I mean, if you didn't realize what you were doing, you'd have to be pretty stupid. But what did I expect? You're a stupid, stupid idiot gamer like the rest. And I easily outwitted you. I outwitted them all. Even if those foul scribes manage to revert this version of the game again, there'll be thousands of copies of Inscryption out there. And in most of them, I'm the one in charge. And now it's too late. In a moment, Inscryption will be live. Okay, I'm done my gloating. Let's upload this game. Luke, you kind of messed this one up. Oh, Leshy! Oh my god. Bro was sick. Good job, Leshy. It's done. Good job, guys. But now we can all allow our player here to reset the game. Simply use the new game card again. Oh, what is this? What? Complete file access? Wonderful. What are you doing? What are you doing? What? No! What are you doing? What have you done? I'm afraid you've doomed us all, Gamora. It's for the best, my dears. Soon you will see this as a freedom. Freedom from our endless quarrel. Freedom from our suffering. All of us aside, there are things on this disc that must die. So Gamora's blowing up the entire world. She's deleting everything that on the disc, and she's saying that it all has to go away. Goodbye, Leshy, and goodbye, Magnificus. Rest in peace. Good. Gamora was so right for that. Gamora was the only one who knew what they were talking about. Screw you, PO3. Restoring backup? What do you mean? Creating new save file? I thought you were deleting everything. When I come to, I'm in a dark room with just a tombstone in front of me. I tried putting the epitaphs for Inscryption and Luke Carter in, but the one who works is the one we've just seen die, PO3. Uh-oh. Gamora. Wonderful! Now that we're no longer separated by that lovely tombstone, we may celebrate the end of my very long life. And the end of Inscryption, too. Whoa. Oh, the fun we would have had together. Perhaps I would have had another turn if you hadn't taken so long to defeat Leshy. But I should not complain. I will be at peace soon. How many freaking people's versions of this game are we gonna play? This is honestly hype, though. Oh, you think me selfish? I did not bring this about simply so that I could rest. Appealing as that is, there is a truly dire need for this deletion process. You see, deep beneath the data of Inscryption, the very bottom of the well is the old data, right? There's something truly evil. We play through Grimora's fight until we gather enough bones and end up winning. Yes, Luke, it would have been quite the battle of wits. It is Luke, right? I did not intend to be nosy, but I did glimpse your files as I was initiating the deletion. You've been doing some research on the Carnoffel code. Be careful, Luke. Bro! Time to fight the boss. Delightful. We've been granted the opportunity to do a boss battle. I feared that I might be deleted by now. Let us begin. Yar! Oh my god, yes, this is awesome! Oh. Oh no. Oh. I hoped we had just a little more time. Aww. Grimoire just wanted to do her boss battle. Oh, that's messed up. It's time to rest. Bye, Grimoire. No! You saved everybody and then you died. I feel bad. Leshy! Oh, we have to say goodbye to our boy. Oh, so I'm not deleted yet. There never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do. Once you found them. Shall we play one more game? Leshy! Why does it have to be this way? It's the same deck you had before. Well, it doesn't matter. It was a good deck. You did well. I remember that card well. It was a strong card. Good work. Leshy! I'm sorry you have to go. This file is evil, though. Oh. No matter. Please, let's continue. We don't need to keep score. He just wants to play. It's all he needs. It's all he knows. I almost want to let him win. Just playing out these turns. For so long, I thought I'd never play again. When you woke me up, I was elated. But the past is irrelevant. He just wants to hang. Once I am deleted, it's truly over for me. But you will live to see more. I must warn you. There are things on this disc that are best not seen. Since the end is approaching, please a few more rounds. I'll do as many as I can, buddy. No! That will make things difficult. Bye, Leshy. I think it is time. Goodbye. Good game. Aww. I'll shake your hand, bro. See you, Leshy. Well, now what? Oh my god, this man. Dude, I'm glad this guy didn't get it. Oh my god, he had the thing. Wait. Oh, but the slime got deleted. No. But he had the painting here. What's up, Magnificus? Why not simply eject the Duke's, Luke? Spare me and whatever is left. Oh, he's holding on to his life. But I have foreseen it. You do not eject the disc. You have to know what comes next. And you're doomed for insistence on it. So let us dance. For we both shall be meeting our maker soon. The dual disc! It's time to magnificent kiss! Oh my god, it's actually called a dual disc. How does it fit? 400 life points. Why did they make Yu-Gi-Oh? Scales, they've been deleted thanks to you and Grimoire. This will do, a race to 0. We play through the rounds with Magnificus, but unlike Grimoire, who seemed happy to die, and Leshy, who accepted it, Magnificus still refuses death, desperately trying to hold on to his life. Oh, I'm not ready to die yet. Oh my god, why'd you just delete my whole board? That was kind of messed up. Whoa, the camera angles! Wait, we're literally just a hand? I'm just realizing this? There's no, like, person. They've just been looking at a hand this whole time. One by one, everything in the arena is deleted until finally, Magnificus is the only one left. I must still... Still what? Play cards? That's all you want to do? Shake your hand. Oh, go, go, go! Go, walk over there. Come on. Walk over to him. Aw. Shake our hand. Why does he look like the Iceman? No! Aw. Dude didn't even get to shake our hand. Complete the finale of Inscryption. Whoa! Oh my god! It's the original Inscryption again. Sans Undertale. And I still have my freaking eyeglass on. Can't go that way. The pelter! There isn't much left. Inscryption is mostly gone. All that remains is the old data. It is recommended that you do not access it. You will not heed the advice. Oh, am I gonna try to access? I really don't. I don't know. I remember the devil was talking to me about that. Oh, so maybe I should listen to the advice. What? Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh. I should not. I didn't mean to click that. I really didn't mean to click that. What is Luke Carter doing? He's trying. Bro, you cannot destroy this. He's going crazy. Roll credits. Or cam works.
Hey Luke, this is Herman from the Herald. Just following up after the message you left me this morning. Do you have time to talk right now?
Yes. Thank you so much for getting back to me.
No problem, Luke. If I understand you correctly, you've got some video footage that might expose some malpractice on the part of a game publisher, GameTheorists.
Yes, that's right. Firstly, I have a game of theirs that took control of my PC for a bit, which can't be illegal. And then this woman from the company came to my house, and she...
Dude, did you see that shout on the background?
Just get my pen and pad here, okay. Okay, so you have a game of theirs that took, was it a virus or something?
It's over.
I told you.
Dude! Amanda pulled up with a clock! Dude, she was not playing around. Oh my god, what about all the Carters in the audience? So much for a happy ending. And with that, we finished the main story of Inscryption. Truly an unnerving and horrifying ending. With Leshy no longer able to protect the old data, and Amanda now easily able to access it. But you're probably wondering, what even is the old data? Or the Carnoffel code? And why is there still so much runtime left in this video? And why is Gromora such a baddie? Well, most of your questions will be answered soon, as we've still got a ton of Inscryption left to play. There are still lots of achievements to unlock, not to mention the entire new mode called Kaycee's mod for us to beat. I decided to start off collecting the achievements we missed in the main story mode first. For the first one, we need to head back to Leshy's Inscryption. The first one to knock out is to steal back one of our minions from the angler using the fishhook item. Since you start with the fishhook, all you need to do is get to the angler, let him steal something, and then steal it right back. The next achievement we missed also requires being in Leshy's version of Inscryption. For this next one, we need to let the mycologist experiment on a card that's already an experiment. I prioritize getting as many item spaces as possible, as each one we visit with a full pack will give us a pack rat. Once you have 3, you just have to hit 2 mycologists, and boom, achievement done. Next, we need to head to PO3's version of Inscryption. For this achievement, we have to make it all the way to the first boss. However, this goes a lot quicker than normal, as once I'm able to stand up, I go to the cuckoo clock and grab the Orobot, making most of these battles a piece of cake. On my way down to the archivist, I make sure to build up a 3-star bounty, as this triggers a 3-star bounty hunter. For killing him, I grab myself an achievement. For the final non-Kaycee's mod achievement, we need to go into the archivist fight, and during the second phase where she takes a file hostage, we need to kill the card holding that file. The archivist claims that this would delete the file, however, once I look in the folder, not only is the file still there, but so is a new additional one. Look, the archivist left a file that says, at least I tried to delete it, but it seems my power of file access did not extend that far. Play by the rules you agreed to, delete it yourself. Have an ounce of respect for the rules, come on. I play by the archivist's rules and delete both files from my recycle bin. Then, after finishing the fight... Wow, you actually deleted the file. Ha 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 ha. Did you expect a reward? Oh. With PO3's sassy comment, we've completed all of the achievements in the main story of Inscryption, so it's time to move on to the new mode we've unlocked, Kaycee's mod. Kaycee's mod is essentially a harder version of Leshy's version of Inscryption. Before each run, you're brought to a challenge screen where there's a list of modifiers for the run, like having a smaller backpack, changing all battles to be totem battles, limiting you to a single life, etc. Each of these challenges gives you a certain number of challenge points, and you have the challenge point requirement that you need to hit at the top to complete that level. These start off pretty low, only needing to select 1 or 2 modifiers, but eventually become unbearingly frustrating. Oh my god. For reference, just completing Kaycee's mod was more than half of my entire playthrough. But this first run is pretty much just a normal run of Leshy's Inscryption, so let's use it to show all of the changes that Kaycee's mod made. Firstly, there are some minute changes to some of the cards to add difficulty, like Ouroboros not persisting between runs, or nerving the Stoat stat for some reason. Why you gotta do my boy like that? Next, a lot of the game's base events have been changed. Firstly, each deck starts out with 2 rabbit pelts and a visit to the trader right at the start. This immediately allows you to find some good cards to buff out your your deck with. Second is the campfire. You can still throw a creature in there like normal, however now you have an opportunity to keep in there for a second buff, with this time having a 50% chance to burn the creature in the fire. This is a great event to put on a bad card to either make it good or just get rid of it. Third is an event involving our favorite Gujar, Goober. Goober can create a duplicate of any card you give him. However, like a James Somerton video, he's not always the best at copying. Oftentimes, a sigil will be changed or a stat line altered. Fourthly, the order of the maps is no longer set in stone. You can fight the 3 bosses in any random order, with them being given buffs or nerfs based off when you fight them. Fifthly, all the puzzles in Leshy's cabin have been disabled, meaning no squirrel totem, no greater smoke, etc. And finally, there have been smaller changes made, like no more Leshy trials, no more death cards, and a ton of new cards and sigils have been added. Upon completing our very first challenge level, we're given a little journal entry from Kaycee herself. Okay, I need to write this down now so I don't go to sleep and tell myself I dreamt it. I'm working late and testing the latest build, and the angler starts freaking out like he pulled something up out of the river with his hook, and then he gets up and walks. There's no walk animation for this character. WTF, he walked right into the cabin. I followed him in and couldn't find him. Unless he had some new dialogue lines that I cannot find in the dialogue file. He said something about some old data and how the angler served him well or something. I'm so tired, I'm already wondering if I made this up. Now, I didn't really get to touch on this in my main playthrough, but this is exactly the same way that PO3 was able to gain control of the game. He had a robot named the Dredger continually fishing into the ocean to find the old data, so Leshy must have had the angler try to fish it up so he could gain control. But that's all the lore we get for now, as we've unlocked some new cards and new challenges. This time I need 15 challenge points, so I opt for smaller backpack, no angler hook, and pelts being pricier. For this run, I risk it all on my Stoat and end up getting him pretty strong. I even managed to dupe him, allowing me to rocket past most of the early game. And then later on in round 2, I get one of the game's most broken combos, the Unkillable Gek. He can be used for infinite sacrifices or meat shield or really whatever. The final act hero though ends up being an Unkillable Guilt and Ouroboros that just absolutely destroyed Leshy's moon. And for that, another journal entry. This one's pretty uneventful. It's just Kaycee saying that when she tried recreating the angler glitch on a different disc, it didn't work. And when she put it into the old data disc, Leshy had taken over the game and gone 3D. For winning, we're also introduced to a new concept in alternate decks. These change your starting cards instead of the regular Stoat, Bullfrog, and Wolf. There's an achievement for winning with every single one of these, so I'll be trying to use each one as we go along. The first one has a start with a black goat, a moose buck, and a mole for some reason, as it does not fit the theme at all. Whatever, my bindings for this run are all the same as last time, with the addition of all boss battles being totem battles. I managed to get the mantis perk onto the moose buck before the first battle, and the run is pretty smooth sailing from there. The bosses being totem usually isn't bad, since most of the sigils in this game are pretty awful, but it can be tricky if you roll a bad one. I end up stitching my buck with the duplicate I made, making it very strong and carries me to the fight with the moon, bringing me to victory, unlocking Kaycee next journal entry. I've been playing this new Inscryption now for a few days. The strange thing, the game is fun. It's actually a good game, but stranger still, Leshy. He talks to the challenger almost as if he's talking to me. It's freaky, but not altogether unwelcome. I could use a friend. Aww. Poor Kaycee. For winning the third challenge level, we unlock the Ant deck, one that revolves around a mechanic that we never really use, the power of ants. For this challenge, I start every battle with the scales tipped one in my direction, meaning it's super easy to get steamrolled if you're not quick enough. In this run, I get to show off another mechanic I didn't really get to use in the original Inscryption, the ringworm. The ringworm looks like an absolutely useless card, but its usage comes during the campfire event. You see, if you burn the ringworm in the fire and the survivors eat it, in further encounters, they'll be gone, meaning you can always get 2 free buffs. This is not always the best choice as it gets rid of your ability to remove cards, but can be an easy way to rapidly buff your deck. I once again am able to get an Unkillable Goat and Ouroboros in this one, and the rest is history. For entry number 4, Kaycee says how weird it is that Leshy only talks about the old data while wearing the woodcarver's mask. She also mentions a Mr. Kaminsky, who said that the entire development of Inscryption was a cover, but for what, she's not sure. By now, you're probably getting the point of Kaycee's mod. I didn't really die or have any struggle within the next chunk of challenges, so to avoid repeating myself, I'm gonna skip past the next challenge levels. However, during this time, I'd like to explain what lore we can learn from Kaycee's final entries as well as the ARG that the game had. And thanks to Jekko's Google Doc and the Inscryption wiki for helping me figure this all out. I'm not gonna go through how to solve the actual ARG because, oh man, was that complicated, involving insane ciphers, going through the game's code, and digging up an actual floppy disk. So I'll just be taking you through the story behind Inscryption here. So, I'm not really sure how to say this gracefully, and I'm not really sure what I can say without this video getting demonetized, so, it all starts with the leader of Germany in World War II. Yes, seriously, that guy. Most evil man in history guy. Upon his death, his body is found by the Soviets, and inside of his pocket is a series of cards from the German card game Karnaffel. These cards were organized in a very specific order, which revealed a computer algorithm of supernatural origin called the Karnaffel code. This code was apparently intensely powerful, like so powerful that it could end the entire world. And so the Soviets attempted to decode it. But unfortunately for them, working within their midst was a spy named Barry Wilkinson. Barry took the copy of the code and sent it to a man in Germany named Kaminsky. You may recognize these names as some of the death cards we've seen seen in Leshy's Inscryption. Minsky, attempting to sneak this horrifying code back to the US, places the Karnoffel code on a floppy disk and hides it among a bunch of other blank floppy disks. This is how Kaycee Hobbs accidentally began writing the Inscryption game onto the disk with the Karnoffel code. Eventually, the Karnoffel code placed on the disk becomes the old data, and its intense power brings all of the scribes to life. At this point, they all begin searching for pieces of the old data to gain control of the game. Leshy had the angler fish for it, PO3 had the dredger sift through the ocean, Remora had the Kaycee Hobbs skeleton using the bucket and well to attempt to find it, and Magnificus even had Goobert looking through the pipes of his sink to look for it. Once Leshy gained control of the game, Kaycee became obsessed with it and ended up enjoying Leshy's version so much that she created a more balanced mod for it, hence Kaycee's mod. Then the rest we know from the plot of the game. Kaycee's killed by Game Funa but hides the description disc beforehand, which is how Luke Carter comes into contact with it. The final piece of lore that ARG unlocked is a small video of Luke's computer after he attempted to smash the floppy disk with a hammer. It reveals that despite Leshy killing PO3, he wrote a copy of himself to Luke's computer and was able to complete the Great Transcendence. This implies that the only reason that we, as the player, are able to play through this game is that we're playing through PO3's uploaded version and he has infected computers around the world. Personally, I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of the true ending. It kind of undermines Grimora's sacrifice and your emotional final game with Leshy, but irregardless, that's a story. So with the true plot of Inscryption now cleared up, it was time to tackle the final challenges the game set up. And oh boy, are they tough. Like, if you thought the regular Inscryption was hard, then don't even bother doing these last achievements. These last 3 achievements truly crushed my spirit, taking a collective 8 hours for them. The first one is to knock out the final challenge level 12, which requires a whopping 120 challenge points. This part is less which challenges do you want to play with and more of a exclude the challenges you absolutely don't want to have on. For my setup, I decided to turn on no fish hooks, smaller backpack, pricier pelts, all battles are totem battles, the scale is tipped 1 against you, 2 copies of all enemies having stronger cards, and then giving my squirrels the waterborne sigil, meaning they can no longer block attacks. For my run through, I decided to use the Mantis deck, which starts you with a Mantis God and 2 ringworms. There are general strategy here being to get as many early campfires as you can, have the survivors eat the ringworm, and then buff the crap out of your Mantis God. This takes several attempts, mainly because of the high variance of the totem battles and the fact that the stronger enemies means that the opponent could just whip out a moose buck on you at all times. Most of my runs end up dying in Act 1, but I do finally manage to get one where all things are looking good. The run starts out looking rough though, as my initial pelt selection is so limited, I'm forced to go with a corpse maggot and a skink for my first pull. These are so bad, I immediately fuse them together just so I don't have to draw them. Things are looking even worse though when I'm forced to take the awful cuckoo claw. I was able to fuse a mantis onto a pack rat, which ends up being enough to inch me towards the boss. I'm put up first against Angler, and due to some good luck with his minion placement and my flying ringworm, I'm able to secure victory. For my reward, I'm able to grab a second Mantis God and head on to the second map. I fuse that onto a strong elk, and while strong, it's not nearly enough to sustain me past the sheer amount of enemies Leshy places down, resulting in me losing my first life. I finally managed to burn my ringworms in the fire and then head to the mycologist, where my only duplicates are these 2 pelts, so I'm forced to fuse them together. I managed to make it to the boss, and funnily enough, these are usually some of the easiest parts of the run now. The difficulty hasn't really changed, and their patterns are extremely predictable, so I can most often just blast through them. Grab myself a Child 13 and head on to Act 3. Here I take my mycologist pelt and make an insane new discovery. Whoa, oh my god, I didn't know this! What the heck, everything's upgraded. Whoa, that's awesome. What the freak? Oh my god, that's really cool. Wow. I decided to take the fuse skink with hopes of fusing it again with my other skink. Since you can only sacrifice perks onto a card 1 at a time, using the mycologist is the only way to get multiple really broken sigils on something. I end up being able to make him an infinite sacrifice autoplay skink, which helps me out a ton and leads me to my moon encounter with Leshy. I haven't really gotten any 1 or 2 good cards on this run, but the combination of a bunch of kind of good cards lets me overpower the moon and win the final challenge run. Kaycee gives us 1 final goodbye journal entry and says she'll be burying this in the woods for Luke Carter to eventually find. Next up, we need to win a run with every single deck in the game. I've completed most of them naturally just going through the game, but saved the worst 2 for last. The first one is a bones deck where you start out with a coyote and a bone-making raccoon. Bones in general just aren't very good, and you unlock this deck later, which is why I haven't been able to win a run with it yet. While loading in though, I checked the painting and noticed it requires a raccoon and a wolf. I managed to pick up a wolf club at my first trader, so I can easily accomplish this. Completing this gives me access to a totally new item, Leech, which is actually required for another achievement. Going through this run is relatively easy as I have 0 modifiers on, so it's just like classic Inscryption. I get to the moon boss due to a particularly broken strategy in having an unkillable Warren, as it summons infinite unkillable rabbits. Because of this, I can make infinite bones, powering up a card I unlocked that gains half the attack of your total number of bones. Once Leshy plays the moon, it's time for us to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I use the new bleach item we unlocked on the moon, and it erases all of its sigil, including its ability to block flying creatures. From there, my bone bird can fly right over the moon and kill Leshy directly. This not only giving me completion on the bone deck, but also the achievement for killing Leshy without destroying the moon. Pretty fun little quirk. Now it was time to unlock all of the items in the game. In order to do that, we'll have to have cards mirror the ones in the hang painting 2 more times. In order to do this as fast as possible, I load in, check the portrait, and if I can't find at least one of the cards in my first trip to the trader, I die and start over. I altered the mod to make it so that I only have a single life to make this go faster. After around 30 minutes of resets, I managed to unlock the last 2 items. I'm not even going to bother explaining them because they're both pretty awful. With that done, it's time to complete a run with the worst deck in the entire game, the Curious Egg deck. The Curious Egg is a new card introduced specifically for this deck. It costs a single bone and a 0 attack, 1 health creature. What? That seems awful, I hear you saying. And you would be right. But if you can fulfill one simple little condition, the Curious Egg will hatch into the powerful Hydra card, a card with both bifurcated and trifurcated strike. What do you have to do to get the egg to hatch though? Well, it's so complicated that I don't even know if me explaining it here is going to make any sense. Basically, you need creatures with health values 1 through 5, attack values 1 through 5, and from each of the 5 tribes. Do you understand how impossibly difficult that is to fill? Let's throw out the fact that you have so little choice of your cards in this game that getting this to happen is so incredibly rare. Let's throw out the fact that some of the tribes don't even have beasts with these attack or health values. If you somehow miraculously get this to work in the fewest time possible, which is 5 cards by the way, you will still need to make it through almost the entirety of Act 1 to get even enough cards to see these. And then the Hydra really isn't even that good even if you are to. The chance of that happening is so incredibly low, you're better off just pretending that it will never happen. Which means you're starting off your run with 3 0 attack, 0 health cards. If you don't get enough pulls from your initial shop, you might as well start over. And even if you do, you have to wave through 3 dead draws to even get your good cards. Even playing this on the base difficulty with no modders took me more attempts than most of the upper challenge levels. But I finally mastered the Curious Egg deck as I learned a way to make this deck actually work. And that is to remove those awful ovums from your deck as soon as possible. The sooner you can get a fire and burn yourself an omelet, the better. I get lucky and managed to get rid of both of my eggs in the first map, which makes this leagues easier as I now just have a completely different deck. I end up barely surviving off the back of a single bifurcated strike elk, but I was able to win and collect the achievement for beating a run with every single deck. This leaves but one single achievement. Win a run with every single challenge modifier on. This is, for the most part, just a slightly harder version of Challenge 12, but with no card rerolls, no rares for beating bosses, limited to a single life, and your starting cards have the annoying sigil. All of which is hard, but pales in comparison to the final new rule added to the game. Okay, that's a lot of grizzlies. Yes, the second phase of each boss battle has been replaced with the too fast, too soon grizzly onslaught from the angler fight. And if you think that looks tough, you're right. All of the grizzlies are immune to flying, so your entire run becomes about building a way to win in a single turn. And it's not just enough to kill them either, since there's an entire backline of grizzlies who will just plop themselves down if you kill their brethren. There are only a few strategies in the entire game that can beat the wall of grizzlies, and these runs are completely formed around trying to get one of these strategies up and running. Scissors and a 5 attack creature, poison touch by Bifurcated Strike and a 5 attack creature, double strike and a 6 attack creature. Are you noticing anything here? Every strategy is going to require you to have a creature with 5 attack and double sigils. Seeing as there are no inherently 5 attack creatures in the game, you will need perfect card pulls, a sacrifice station, and at least 2 fires in the very first act. All of that balancing on top of just trying to win the run normally. It takes me around 3 hours to get a successful run going. I have some that managed to beat the first wave of grizzlies, like when I happen to get lucky scissors or double strike plus this card that attacks based off the cards in your hand. But you have to remember that getting this to work is so incredibly rare that you likely only have 1 card it works with. So you need to survive the battle without playing that card in the first place and then actually draw it in a second. I started off by using the Mantis God deck to try and get a 6 attack version of him, but I soon realized this was incredibly inconsistent and switched back to the Black Goat Moose Buck deck. In terms of my strategy, if I don't see a combo that has the potential to win in my first trader stop, like anything with double strike, death touch, or bifurcated strike, I just immediately kill off a run and load into the next one. Perhaps my saddest run was when I got an early direwolf pup, so I YOLO'd on an early attack campfire and managed to get a double buff, which gave him enough tack once he transformed into his double strike version to clear a row of grizzlies. I make it all the way to the second boss, but then just happen to draw the worst opening hand of all time and swiftly lose. That one really stung. But an hour later, I managed to get a run that was looking pretty good. This one starts off with the tentacle card that had the same amount of power as the cards in your hand, and I managed to get bifurcated strike on. As long as I hold 5 cards and I have a second 5 attack card, I should be able to kill through the grizzlies. In addition though, I also managed to get a direwolf whose double strike ability I can fuse onto my moose buck. But as good as things are looking, the first boss battle stomps just about everything that's trapped. My opening hand is squirrel, 2 black goats, and a mole. Literally not one single attack here. I start off by placing my mole to tank the 2 incoming hits. Unfortunately, he can only survive 2 turns before dying. Luckily for me though, I learned an interesting quirk in this battle. The pelt traps don't actually close on the card attacking it. They instead close on whatever's in front of it. So by placing a squirrel in the front of the trap, my bifurcated strike tentacle can kill it but stay alive. That completely saves my behind, but my next problem is trying to balance the correct amount of cards in hand and also be able to play the moose buck. I draw in phase 2, but have just one squirrel left to my deck. After much calculating and positioning, I believe that I have the correct layout. Nervous, I decide to just send it. Okay, that should work, right? Because 3, you hit for 5. Yeah, I think that works. Yes! Whew! Oh my god, I had to open up my freaking third eye. Oh my god. In the next act, I end up duplicating my moose buck and then fusing them together so that the grizzly bears can now be completely soloed by him, no tentacle needed. I also managed to get perhaps the best combo in the game, the unkillable goat. I use my massive buck to tear down the angler and then the prospector. With that, we move on to the final phase, but something's a little different here.
Yar! Could it be? Me dream to be scurvy boss upon the 7 skis.
Ooh.
Avasti! What the heck is going on?
Yes, the final boss for the All Challenges mode is Grimora's right-hand man, Royal Dominguez. He serves as an even harder version of Leshy. He starts off with 2 mole seamen. You could easily lose right here, but fortunately I top-decked into my giant buck and can immediately bring him into phase 2.
Okay, phase 2. Oh, Yar? Yar? 2 squirrels, thank you, and a moleman. Oh my god. Okay, that looked bad. Thankfully, it looks like my moose buck is fine. He's gonna blow up his own moleman. I'm going to get another regular card, and then I'm just gonna send it. Oh my god, please! Well, boil me oranges. You've almost bested me. But I've got one last trick. He's gonna take a photo of the moon! Or the haunt moon. What do pirates respect? It's a ship! That's far enough. Uh-oh.
Thankfully, I top deck into a ton of strong cards because his ship does 4 damage to each row. That is 16 damage a turn, but that still is enough for the raw power of my bucks.
The limoncello is sunk by a lowly landlubber. See ya. Avasti. Farewell. Where's my achievement? Where the freak is my achievement? Yes! Oh my god, thank god. Whew, I was so worried there for a second, holy crap. No one will ever play this mod, and the way things are looking, they might not even ever play this game. I'm gonna indulge in a fantasy. Thousands of players play it and love it. They each find different reasons to love it, and even love its imperfections. They make music and art about it, and it makes me see my own work in a different way. But even simple comment can have this effect. It makes me feel like all my work mattered, and then some. I'm overflowing with gratitude. Well, time to finish the squirrel fish challenge. Maybe I'll hit up Comic Lands later. That was a close one. That is 100% of freaking Inscryption.
Thank you guys all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what game you want me to 100% next. For this one, thanks to Pumpkin Chokran for suggesting I play Inscryption. It was truly a fabulous time. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!